And if you'll look at what we have on camera right now with the threes lining up, in the distance back behind, you will see the blue tent.
Okay.
And to Jeremy Blankenship down there working the corner to the, which would be our right or the right on your screen. A lot of hay bales. That is a really tricky corner. You're coming
that's the one
downhill into that.
Yes, the one right there. Okay.
Right. You're coming downhill into that turn, and
then you got to come back up toward the lift.
Right.
Okay. So that's an area to watch then on that camera. That's what's happening in front of that blue tent down there. Now we got this race. This is underway, right?
This is the Cat 3s underway, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, and your favorite in this one is Georg Pingen, number 313.
Number 313 is the one we need to watch.
Yeah, Georg is one of our stronger cyclists here in town. Is also a professor at Union University and teaches a mountain bike class as well.
I saw that number 313 with that yellow helmet there, right? That yellow-green helmet midway in the pack.
Yeah,
312 is out front.
Yeah, most of the stronger riders are going to try to stay somewhere in the middle for a large part of the race.
The motorcycle is like the pace car of this thing, I would guess, right?
That is, basically what he's doing is letting everyone know, especially in front of the lift when people are trying to go in and out, that the race is coming through, and try not to cross the road right now, because we have over the past few years had some close calls.
Okay. Well, we're at the lift downtown Jackson, Tennessee, and the Cat 3 race is underway, and then we still have the Pro 1 and 2 to come, women's and then men's Pro 1 and 2, right? And the women will be Pro 1, 2, and 3. Is that right?
That it will be the Pro 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. All of this. Steve Bowers and Alan Worley here with you on E Plus TV 6. This is a presentation of the E Plus broadband system and the Jackson Energy Authority. We're live in downtown Jackson, Tennessee. This is also being streamed worldwide at eplustv6.com, so you can spread the word and let people know on Facebook or whatever that we're covering this live direct. So this is our lead group, the motorcycles. This is the first lap. They race a specified amount of time, and this one will be.
These guys are going to be doing in the Cat 3. They are doing 40 minutes plus one lap. I'm sorry.
So they will
50 minutes plus 1 lap.
50 minutes. So they will race until 10 minutes after 1.
Right.
And then do one more lap. And so it's just kind of a steady pace. And so this is the lead group here.
It's a lead group coming through, and actually Georg is out front. Kind of controlling the pace. If you'll notice, they're really not going that fast right now. It's a lot of times you want to kind of get the legs warmed up a little bit, and before you really have to start putting major effort in.
So right now that entire field is still together.
Everybody's together.
Catch it coming off Lafayette Street now, and Lafayette Street, and head back between the Farmers Market and the AMP. You can tell there's the office of the farmers market. So they're beginning to spread a little bit.
A couple of riders may take a shot early to, get the field going faster, make them expend more energy, and then some of them are, feeling good enough they feel like they may be able to take it and just lead the race from start to finish.
Will we see team racing at this level?
You will.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are teams out there. So what organizes those teams then?
You've got different sponsors, and a lot of times it's just a group of guys, and they may go to certain businesses and say, hey, can we just put your logo on our jersey for exposure, or, help us out a little bit of money. But most of these guys will get, where they ride together quite a bit, and, they know each other, then they know who's strong, who's not. And any given weekend, they may select one guy one weekend, somebody else the next, and, basically they're all traveling to a race, and these guys are sacrifices themselves. They're basically just going to go work for one particular guy to try to get him to win.
Okay. The weather's holding off well for us. The rain has been in forecast for this day. We have a cold front that's coming through, which won't hurt anyone's feelings, but it has brought thunderstorms in several areas, particularly north of us and into some south of us. So far, we've got 313 still right there in the pace of things.
Still controlling the pace.
It's beginning to spread just a little from what we saw last lap, but once again, they will race now for 50 minutes plus one lap. And so they are just getting underway. We started at 20 minutes after, so we're 5 minutes into this. As you say with Lance Russell, 5 minutes down and 45 minutes to wrestle, right? So that's with the Mid-South Coliseum. So that's what we're doing with this, with the Rockabilly Grand Prix. And it's 5th year in Jackson, Tennessee. And Alan Worley is with us. Matt Joyner is the man that put this together 5 years ago. How did he get this organized in? Does he represent a racing organization? Is he part of a racing organization?
Matt is originally from the Memphis area and been in Jackson, or actually works for Jackson Fire Department. Lives in Milan, but in the Jackson area for quite a few years. And there used to be an event similar to this in Memphis, and Matt was like, I want to showcase downtown Jackson.
Okay.
So the Marks Bendorf team got behind him, and they said, yeah, we'll help you. Let's move this race to the Jackson area. And it just took off like wildfire. Normally, events like this, somebody's not going to be happy with something, no matter what you do. We have not heard any complaints. People are always just really, really appreciative of everything that goes on. They like the restaurants. They like downtown. They like the way the event's put on. And they keep coming back. I'm seeing faces that I have seen every year.
So they like this race?
Absolutely.
It's a great course at downtown Jackson, of course, and the road race was done yesterday on 11 miles outside of our city. Any change in positioning there that you see?
Number 307 is moved to the front, which is Scott Morris for the Volkswagen team out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Going to take a turn at the front.
In positioning yourself in this race, will you drop back on purpose for a while?
You will.
Okay.
Yeah. There are times, you've gotten to the front and you've used a lot of energy, pulling is what the term is called. And a lot of times you want to drop back and get somewhere in the field and get on somebody's wheel because you're going to use less energy if you're able to draft somebody.
When you're approaching a curve such as this, you're trying to position yourself in certain ways, or it just depends on what's going on around you?
Basically, you just want to watch the person in front of you and make sure you don't overlap wheels, which is a big no-no, because once that happens, somebody's going down and a collarbone is going to go.
It's like open wheel racing at Indy or something. You touch tires, somebody's in trouble out there, right?
Right,
with that.
and then normally you don't want to be the last rider because there's just too big of a chance if there's a gap between somebody in front of you. It's amazing how much time it could take you to trying to make up a gap of 20 feet on somebody's wheel. When you're doing 30 miles an hour and somebody's 15 feet in front of you, you would think it's just instant. But I have done that before, and it's taken me over a mile to close that gap because of the speed that's being done.
So then, as you get increasing, and we got the lead cycle coming by now, and so this is our leader pulling out now.
This is our leader, number 311 at this time, is Gabriel Rojas from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay, so Wisconsin.
A little bit of a gap, but it's I think the guys are going to kind of work together and try to pull that back. I don't think they're going to let him get too far out.
There's no one straggling in this event. I mean, everybody's staying right.
No, they're all staying together.
Right there together.
And you will see, like in the Cat 5 race, within 2 or 3 laps, you were really seeing it break up into smaller groups.
So our leader out of Wisconsin is so the reason for doing that then, to pull out that far ahead is what?
You want to test the legs of the guys behind you. See if they respond, and if you're in better shape than they are, and they don't immediately get on you,
then you just
kind of tells you, all right, put my head down, and let's see how long I can take this.
So we'll find out a little bit in this race. Like I said, the rider that we're following is 313, and that is
Gabriel Rojas.
Gabriel Rojas from Union University. The leader right now is out of Wisconsin, and this is early going. We are less than 10 minutes into this race, and it runs 50 minutes plus 1 lap, and so it will wrap up about 10 minutes after 1. We'll have a women's race coming up then, and the men's race as we go through the afternoon. The final race will start around 2:30.
Should start at 2:30, and we'll also point out that Rojas, your current leader, is 17 years old.
Is that right? Okay, so he's out front. The lead cycle is coming up, and kind of check the patience. They're pulling uphill right when you come in front of the lift, and that's the start line, and then you're pulling uphill approaching us at the farmers market. So this is an uphill pull, which is a great area to end the race, but now others are beginning to push him.
Everybody's pushing a little bit. They have brought him back in, and what he will do is either get on the tail end of the group and basically take a break, or he'll try to work his way into the middle of it so that he's not all the way on the back and rest his legs a little bit. He may take another shot at it at some point later on.
Is there kind of a collective thing going on here then when you had, it's not just the whole pack seems to have picked up the pace?
They've all picked up the pace, and a lot of times what's going on is they're going to pick it up and weed out any weaker riders.
Okay, so riders that number 315 is the last one in that group out there, but it's all close right now.
This one is probably going to stay close for a lot of the race. I know a lot of the guys in here, and there are some really, really strong legs in this race right now.
This is the Rockabilly Gran Prix. It's being presented on E+ TV 6 and high def at E+ TV channel 206. You can also spread the word that we're streaming this worldwide at eplustv6.com. So if there are race fans in other sections of the country, they can follow what's going on with the 5th annual Rockabilly Gran Prix in downtown Jackson. This is the first time for us to do this live. In fact, I guess it's the first time for it to be carried live on television in Jackson, Tennessee. We're pleased to be a part of this. It's a presentation of the Jackson Energy Authority and the E+ broadband system, but all the divisions at JA are represented in this effort today. Paul Schulze and Worthy Road Productions setting up the production today. It's coming to you high def, and we're following this is the Cat 3 race, and the rider that we're watching out of Jackson, Tennessee is number 313, Gabriel Rojas, and we'll see who's pulling this lead. Everybody's kind of grouped up again. Our lead cycle comes
Everybody's gotten together right now, and leader in the front, once again, Georg Pingen. A lot of times what Georg is going to do is get to the front and try to pick the pace up, and you'll see them looking over their shoulders quite a bit. They want to see who comes with them. They know their competition, so they know whether or not the guys that are really going to challenge them for the win are going to be right there with them or not.
This shot here is coming up, but turning right off Lafayette Street, coming past the offices of the West Tennessee Farmers Market and heading then back down toward Orleans Street, and they'll make a hard right down there and then another hard right and then come back up Shannon Street. So you see walking right down toward the Jackson Walk Apartments. Down there's where we are.
Yeah, Georg has dropped back into the group, and there's another rider has attacked off the front.
Off the front. So we got a spread that we'll watch and see if that hole's coming around, I guess, turns 3 and 4 is what we can call those down there, right? And so we're approaching turn 1 up here, so we'll pick up turn 3 and 4. 0.7 of a mile is what they're racing, but they're racing for 50 minutes plus 1 lap. And how is that determined then, is the length of these races? How did that evolve?
The USA Cycling actually sets the length of the races per category for each type of race that's done. In road races, they will be set within certain guidelines as far as the distances that you have to use for those races.
Well, we got a rider that is way out in front now, or the biggest gap that we have seen in this. And they're crossing now the start line area, that change in paper right there in front of the lift. That's the start line. And then the finish line you'll see shortly as they come up the hill.
Yeah, you'll see them coming up
right here right now. And so this is
that is number 320, which is Pablo Cesar Casente, another 17-year-old out of Wisconsin.
305 coming in second. 313 is our guy. Gabriel Rojas is in third right now, 313, right? His number's 313.
It's Carter Jackson. As far as our local guys, I kind of picked Georg because I've seen what he's done in this event before, because a lot of times it does come down to a sprint finish. And Georg has a lot of horsepower, and I have seen him just blow by people at the finish before. But also other local guys who are definitely going to have a very good shot at this are going to be Terry Box, Michael Shipley, David Piercy, who won the road race yesterday in this category, and Georg won the individual time trial. You've got Patrick Andre, who I believe – no, Patrick does not win the award. Your oldest rider in this event is Tim Taylor from Lexington, Tennessee, who is 57.
57, okay, so from like 17 to 57 we got it here. So Tim Taylor, this is like our turn 4 coming off Orleans back to Shannon Street, coming up right in front of the lift. And it was spread out, but now it's tightened back up. Then we got 3 that have challenged. So there was a big gap when we saw them last headed toward turn 3 out there. And now we got some more traffic.
You've had them work together, and they have brought Casante back into the group. And you've got 3 guys up front now, and they're going to take a shot. They're looking over their shoulders. Somebody may attack out of this. This is going to be Pingen. And quite honestly, with Georg being out front right now, spending this much time out front, he may possibly be working for his teammate, David Piercy, who is leading the overall for the Omnium, which is a cumulative title overall for the 3 races.
We're beginning to get our first spread, really, in this group. Now, we got 2 riders that are beginning to lag a little bit behind. We are approaching 15 minutes in a 50-minute race, and 3:15 is dropped off the pace considerably compared to the other guys out there. Once that happens to you, is that just indicative of different skill level?
It's different skill level. You could be just having a bad day. You could have just missed somebody accelerating, because once there's a gap in front of you, it's really hard to close it at the speeds that they're going.
So we'll keep our eye too on.
But it's a bad feeling as well. I did the criterium the first year, and I didn't have a good day, and it just doesn't feel good knowing those guys are gone and you're not going to catch them.
You're not going to catch them. You're just out there. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy the breeze. We do have a nice breeze downtown, and it's been a humid day. The showers yesterday certainly helped, and then today rain is in our forecast. A cold front is coming through, and you see temperature declines back in Arkansas. A lot of the storm activity has gone north of us. We are in the Cat 3 race. We are 15 minutes into a race that lasts 50. And so we're about 35 minutes now for the conclusion of this one, and we're beginning to see our first gap. It was 3 riders, and now it is 2 coming in behind the lead. They're crossing the start line there, and the finish line is just right up this hill. And you see them cross the finish line right there, coming past us now, and that is.
You've got Georg Pingen still on the front, and right on his wheel is Carter Jackson out of Brentwood, Tennessee.
And then 312 is
312 right behind is Yukio Mariner, who is 16 years old.
Wow. So from 16 to 57, we've got races out there right now. Well, tell me about this man from Lexington, Tennessee, that's 57 years of age.
Tim Taylor. Tim has been, he comes over and rides with Jackson Spokes, is a very, very accomplished cyclist. And don't let that 57 under the age thing fool you. Tim is a strong man.
All right.
Well, and super guy, too.
Okay, so out there at 57 years. I wonder where he rides in Henderson County that is safe.
He does a lot of riding over here, and Tim's racing every weekend somewhere, but he's like the rest of us. We're going to find a place to ride.
All right. So if you're into this, you are into this.
Right.
We're coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee on E+ TV6. We're carrying for the first time the Rockabilly Gran Prix in Jackson, which is organized. Alan Worley and the group. They have several sponsors, including Bicycle City and Hub City Bicycle, Giant Bicycles, Drop Socks. Is that right?
That is right.
FTB Advisors, Todd Rustin, the Hampton Inn out of Jackson, Hub City Blueprint, Memphis Record Pressing, BPC Performance Coaching, Mark's Bendorf Realtors, the Lift Wellness Center, and the Jackson Walk Apartments. A great showcase for Jackson, Tennessee, and the downtown area and what's happening here. So our 2 leaders are staying the same, 313 and 305.
Pingen and Rojas, and they have opened the gap up a little bit. But this early in the race, anything can happen.
Bell just rang down there. So what does that mean? We got some kind of incentive?
There's going to be. This is a preem. So on this next lap, and basically it's going to be for the field, not the leaders. They're trying to get these guys to pick the pace up a little bit. So out of that group that's all together, they'll be sprinting here at the finish for whatever the prize may be for this next, the first guy across the start.
So the announcer announces that as they go by. Once again, the course goes. It's up Shannon Street. You're seeing the backside of this as you head back toward Jackson Walk, coming off Lafayette, and you'll head down to Orleans and make a hard right, and then in a short distance another hard right. So you got 2 hard right turns. That'll be outside our camera range. We'll pick it up at the blue tent, which is turn 4.
Right. As they go past that white tent right there, you can see they're starting uphill. That is a pretty good uphill on the course. So the back corner is going to be the highest point on the course, which is why when you come into turn 4, you're going downhill. So you're flying as you come into the corner that's on your screen right now.
The turn right there, that cycle is turning onto Shannon Street off Orleans. And here come our 2 riders. And so the preen is designed to try to draw that pack in closer to them.
Right. And you saw Georg
So far, that's not working.
No, well, as they come through, they're not going to work hard about the overall right now. But you'll see Georg.
Now whoever's going to be in the front, then we'll pick up that in that pack.
Right.
We'll pick up that
and strategy going on right now between these 2, because you saw Georg as they come around the corner moved way to his right, looking over his shoulder. What he is trying to do is get number 305, who is again Carter Jackson, to pull through and get in front and give him a break. But, of course, Jackson wants to save his energy, so he's going to make him stay at the front, which is usually what's going to cause the group working together to be able to catch back up. These guys
will not be able to or won't maintain that pace because of the fatigue that could set in. Right. You don't want to burn out too soon.
You don't want to burn out too much, and you may go, okay, I need a break. We need to drop back into the group.
Now, a little bit of gap there between the 3rd and 4th place. Right, between the first 2.
Yeah, and 3rd place right now, maybe think, okay, those guys are getting tired. I'm going to attack right now, and if they fade, I'm going to be in the lead, and my legs feel good. I'm going to see what I can do right now.
We're carrying this live on E+ TV6. It's Sunday afternoon. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads and granddads and all out there on this day. It's a beautiful day in downtown Jackson. We got a nice breeze that has come up here, which has to help folks out there. We're getting a break in the humidity. Rain is in our forecast. Our frontal system is coming through, but so far today it has been a beautiful day for this.
Weather has been awesome for this so far.
Yeah, and so the road race yesterday, and also the Rockabilly time trial and the But this is the downtown criterium today, and we still have 2 big classifications to go. This race will run until 10 minutes after 1, so we're about a half hour now, and we're 20 minutes into a 50-minute race with a half hour to go. You're exactly right, Alan. Then things begin to group up a little bit.
You're going to start to group up, and what you may have these 2 sets of 2 riders may work together, or you may see our current pair of leaders regroup, and you may see another one of these riders try to attack
305 out in front now. So we had a change there, 305, 313, and then 311. And 317, I tell you, is a lapped rider out there. Okay, so we've got our first one. Yeah, so you just kind of stay to the side then.
Yeah. If you get lapped, you're going to pull over to the side. You don't want to get in the way of anybody. Tim Taylor looks like he's fallen off the pace a little bit.
Well, there we are making the run down toward the Jackson Walk. So they're past turn 2. They'll go downhill and then straight uphill, and then I'll make a hard right at Orleans, and then go downhill. That'll be the peak point. Then in turn 3 is the peak point of the race.
That is the highest peak on the race.
Right there at the Jackson Walk Apartments, and they'll turn right, and then hook back in toward Shannon Street.
Yeah, and right before they go down the hill that they're going right now, they've come around in front of 101 Jackson Records, and on the backside of the Farmers Market, you've got a pretty good little S-curve through there. So as a group goes through there, they do have to watch it because it's pretty narrow and they're hugging things pretty tight.
Is this typical of what you see in these kind of races as far as the downhill, uphill, the curves? Or
a lot of these type of races, meaning the criteriums, will be on a flat course.
Is that right? Okay, so this is a different
This one is considered one of the tougher criterium courses in the area, and that it is unique is part of the reason people keep coming back.
They like this. I mean, it's a
different
type feel for them. Let's see how our leaders are shaping up here. We just crossed the start line, and you're coming up to the finish line. There's the finish line, just right down from us.
And on this, you've got
313.
You've got Pingen, 311, Rojas, and I believe 305 was the other number, which is Carter Jackson.
Okay, so we have 3 in that pack, so 2, and a good bit of gap there. Now.
Good bit of gap, and in the second wave, you get number 309, which is David Piercy, who is actually leading the overall points for the weekend.
So you don't look for him to stay back on this.
I don't know. A lot of it's you don't know what these guys are thinking, but big part of what's going on. You may have Georg, who is one of the stronger riders in the race, as is David. Georg may be sacrificing himself for David, trying to get some of the other stronger riders to expend more energy during the race, so that as we get towards the end, David has been back in the group and has been fresh for the sprint to finish and win the overall.
Do you call this kind of mid-range skill level, endurance level, whatever, right?
As far as endurance level, yeah. But the thing a lot of people don't realize, these guys right here, they're the strongest, some of the strongest riders in this area. Our local group rides, you go out and do 30, 40 miles, and these guys in this particular category are going to average 22 to 25 miles an hour over a race, and 22 to 25 doesn't sound fast, and it doesn't sound fast if you hit it on your speedometer on your bike. But to go out and do 30, 40 miles and keep that kind of pace up, that's a tough thing to do.
Now, I said this when you see them pulling past right now, you're coming uphill.
You're coming uphill,
so number 313 now has pulled out, and that's our guy from here in Jackson, Rojas, from here in Jackson, Tennessee, 305 and 311. But he's pulled away.
He's pulled away a little bit, so he may see if he can take off and try to hold this.
So he may be breaking out. We are 24 minutes into this race. No, we're 34 minutes into this race, and so we're over halfway through this thing now, right?
We are over halfway through. We've got a 50-minute race.
Got a 50-minute race. We're going to race until 10 after. So we got 25 minutes left, and there are 26 minutes left in this. We'll race until we start at 20 after, and we'll race until 10 minutes after 1, and we're approaching the quarter hour, and so we have covered. Well, we're about to cover 25 minutes out of the 50, so we're about to hit halfway through this race now, and so. Our guy from Jackson, Tennessee, Rojas, at 313 is the one that we're watching that he is out front now. So
313 is actually Georg Pingen.
Pingen, okay. Pingen, okay.
But Rojas is from residing in Wisconsin.
Okay. So 313 is soon. I had the wrong.
313 is Georg Pingen.
Pingen, okay. And he is from where?
Here in Jackson.
He's from here in Jackson.
Yeah, Georg's a professor at Union.
Union, okay.
And just to kind of give you an idea on some of the age stuff, Georg's 36 years old, so he's not one of the teenagers or 20 years old. Year old. So he's got about the same time gap that he had.
So this is our man from Jackson, Tennessee, right here.
That is, and
out
then
in front. And then we got
305 Carter Jackson from Brentwood, and then Rojas from Wisconsin.
And Rojas is from Wisconsin. His number is 311. Was that
311?
Rojas from Wisconsin.
And they have opened up quite a gap.
Now. So here's our leader, and that is coming down by the farmers market, heading down toward the Jackson Walk, and then you get a downhill and S-curve run here. So a lot of these are done on flat tracks.
Yes.
And so this is a whole different field. Then you pull that hill up to the peak point as you go past the Jackson Walk apartment. So he's pulling that hill up, and then we'll make the hard right, and then the next hard right coming downhill, which is the sharp curve that puts you back on Shannon Street. So that back part of this are the laps that we miss here with our coverage today. We're coming to you live through the E+ broadband system. So we're spreading this thing out halfway through. We're halfway through this race. We'll be racing until 10 minutes after 1 o'clock. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix from downtown Jackson, Tennessee, in its 5th year in Jackson. With multi-events, the Bicycle City Rockabilly Road Race was yesterday. The Rockabilly Time Trial, the Hub City Bicycle Giant Countdown Criterium is what we're seeing today. And so we're delighted to have a part of this. Well, this is our leader and our leading cycle. We're back on Shannon Street coming up toward the lift.
And Georg is beginning to lap some riders here, or a rider.
They're now pulling the hill, and you'll go right past. There's the finish line of this race. It's 50 minutes plus 1 lap. So rider 315 is about to be lapped by 313.
315, who is Christian Madrid from Murray, Kentucky, is being lapped at this point.
Then here our second and third place, 311 and 305.
Yeah, 311. Rojas is up out of the saddle and putting a little more effort. He is going to make an attempt to try to reel Ping in.
Okay. So now we're going to be watching this battle that will shape up between 311 and 313 for this battle for first place. And there goes our leader.
It's our leader. The rider right behind him is a lapped rider, so he's not concerned with him right now. And 311 is who he needs to be concerned with.
Okay. And this is Rojas, and you say he is from?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. All right. And our man from Jackson, Tennessee is out in front. I think it was out in front, number 313, from Union University. This is Rockabilly Grand Prix, and this is the Cat 3 race. We're now over halfway through this. We race until 10 minutes after 1, so there's 23 minutes left in this race because it'll be the 50 minutes plus 1 lap. So things will get spread out here. You can always tell the cycle is going to note the leader. The cycle is kind of like the pace car.
That is correct. Just letting everybody know to get out of the way.
So he's looking back over his shoulder, and so he's watching closely what's happening. They know each other well enough to know if it's a lap rider, they'll know who that is. If somebody's pushing them, they'll know then.
Yeah, they keep up with what's going on, and they know their competition. They know when they look back who's behind them and what they need to do.
All the striped helmets look the same, but they don't to them. And so we will see. So here is our leader, continuing that pace. Still well out in front, but yes, you're right. He's in this. Number 311, Rojas, is in this and is digging.
Yeah, you'll see Ping, and it's basically when he comes through the start-finish area, you will see his forearms on the handlebars. What he's trying to do right there is similar to an aero position that you will see a triathlete in. Get into more aero position. And just everything you can do to try to gain as much a speed as you possibly can during the race.
Well, for a race that for 20 minutes stayed pretty close and there was a definable pack and everybody was kind of within striking distance, this thing is really spread out now, Alan. Here's our pack that's coming up, or what's left of that pack, and it's not many, maybe, a half dozen or so.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders in this group.
In this group. And so they're kind of together. They are way off the pace. Possible then that you would lap this group? Not likely, but you could.
As far as your leader probably is not going to lap that group. No, they're going to be right now. They're maybe a quarter of a lap behind. Okay. So that's
well. Here comes our leader.
Probably not going to happen.
Number 313, out of Jackson, Tennessee.
Rojas is still working hard.
He is, and he's narrowing this thing a bit.
The thing is going to be, of course, Pinga could also be playing mind games. He could make Rojas use a lot of energy to catch him. And then once he's caught him, he may attack him.
Okay.
Which means just jump right up out of the saddle and say, how much you got left?
Yeah, here's our leader, number 313, heading up toward Lafayette, right there at 101 where the I.H. Anderson building used to be across the street on.
Yeah, Rojas does look like he's tired a little bit. He's not up out of the saddle digging quite as
hard as he was a while ago. So our leaders are coming up right after the motorcycle. And you'll see the gap. This in the yellow helmet is Pingham.
That is Pingham.
And so that's a lap rider, 322.
That lap rider is Tim Taylor, and you saw Georg looking over to him, and knowing Georg, hey, you've done a good job. It's just talking to him.
So 311 is our second place rider down there.
311 is Gabriel Rojas.
And Gabriel is here out of state from, where'd you say, Alan?
He is from Wisconsin. He is actually a junior, which is under 18, but they are running with the Cat 3s. So Rojas, even if he does not win this particular race, he's going to be the first junior finisher. So within the juniors category,
he will be the winner.
He will be the winner.
So it's all in one group.
So
here's our leader.
Pingham has quite a lead right now within his category.
Right.
Carter Jackson, number 305, is going to be the next rider that is actually an over 18 or non-junior Cat 3 rider.
So he's out there in a class by himself right now.
He is in class by himself, and this is not normal for Georg. A lot of times he will stay in the field, try to keep the field together, and he will attack on the last lap for a sprint because he has got so much power when it comes to just an acceleration.
311 is Ross, and he is our junior rider, and this is a lap rider here at 322. So
322. So your next rider is 305, Carter Jackson out of Brentwood, Tennessee.
So Jackson is third overall, second in the
Cat 3
in the Cat 3 area, not a junior but Cat 3, and that's a big gap now that's set up. There you see our leader making that climb now toward turn 3, right in front of the Jackson Walk Apartments. We are well into this race now. It'll be until 10 after 1, so we have about 17 more minutes to race plus one lap. And then here's the group that remains. There's been 6 or 7 riders in that group, and they are coming past the lift right now in a group. It's still a group of 7.
It's a group of 7, but you're going to start seeing these guys attack right now. 309, which is Piercy, and then 307, Scott Morris. These guys are going to try to get up to get a second or third place overall. Piercy probably worked his way to hold back these guys a little bit to be able to let Pinkham get out front.
They just made the turn onto Lafayette, and here's our leader is coming right up Shannon Street now, past the lift. So does he alter his pace then at this point, Alan? I mean, do you start settling
he just looked over his shoulder. You'll see him alter it, but for the most part, he is giving it everything he's got right now because.
So he's going to try to build this lead or maintain this lead.
These are very short laps, and a couple of miles an hour can be made up, and within a few laps.
So our leader is out there by himself right now, number 313. Made the turn right there by Newstone.
Rojas, I believe, is kind of gone, you know what, I'm not going to catch him, but I've got it for the juniors class. I'm going to hold my position here.
Okay. So what we're watching now will be number 305 and then the rest of this pack to try to catch up. You don't think they're going to let him? They're not going to let Carter Jackson just coast into this thing then in a second.
They're going to try not to. They've got a lot of ground to make up.
A lot of ground out there.
And what Pingham is doing right now is he's just trying to hold a steady pace.
Okay.
He doesn't want to try to jump out of the saddle and sprint up the hills or anything like that. And a lot of these guys are they train based on heart rate or wattage, which there are monitors that will monitor how much wattage, and they know their bodies well enough to know that if I stay within X amount of range, I'm going to be able to stay stronger for a longer amount of time.
Wattage is what now then?
How much power you're actually generating.
Okay. Well, they're on the turn now, and they have just gone on the turn, and they're on Lafayette, and they'll make the turn from the Farmers Market. And right behind them, in essence, is our leader. He's already on Shannon Street, headed to Lafayette, coming up in front of the lift. We've got a couple of lapped riders that you'll see before we get to two people that we're watching. 3:13 is our leader, and then we're looking also at 3:05, and our leader 3:13 is coming right by us. 3:15 and 3:11.
Yeah, 3:15 is a lapped rider, which is Christian Madrid, and then Rojas.
Rojas at 3:11, and here comes Carter Jackson.
Carter Jackson, 3:05 is he's actually made up some ground.
Yeah, he's made up some ground on this one. So we'll see what happens. But you have an idea of this pack. If you're going to get into second place, you're going to challenge Carter Jackson. Then you're going to have to do some work because
they're going to have to do a lot of work. I think at this point Jackson has got at least second sewn up.
A lot of Jackson, Tennessee, number 313 is our leader in this race, and then like I said, 311 Rojas, and he's the leading the junior.
What you're going to see out of the rest of this group though is going to be number 309, David Piercy. David is coming into this was leading the overall for the Omnium, so I believe the way it's working right now, if I check the points correctly, Georg has to be 2 positions ahead of Piercy to win the overall.
So, and this is Piercy coming up right here.
This is Piercy, number 309, coming right in front of us in the yellow helmet.
So he's up, as you say. He's not sitting. He's up.
Yeah. So he is well in contention for the overall for the weekend.
So he's going to try to narrow this gap. But our leader is not far behind them, and he's because they just made the turn onto Lafayette from Shannon. He just made the turn onto Shannon Street, coming up in front of the lift.
And he has a rider on his wheel, and that rider is number 311, which is Rojas. He has actually reeled him in on that lap.
That is amazing. I didn't see that coming. I
didn't either.
And then Jackson is 305, so we'll watch him, and it's 305 is going by right now. Jackson is in second place in that category, and then 311 is the first place in the junior, but he's actually out in front of this.
Right. The rider that David Piercy, number 309, is concerned with right now is 305. He does need to finish ahead of him to win the overall.
Okay. Well, that's a big gap. Our group is coming up. This is our leading group, and
it's a big gap. But when you've spent a lot of time out front by yourself, you've used a lot of energy to stay there, to where the guys that are in a pack of riders have been able to conserve energy for the latter part of the race.
That pack is still way off the pace, though.
They are. They're quite a ways back.
Steve Mowers and Alan Worley with you. We're covering the Rockabilly Grand Prix from downtown Jackson, Tennessee on E+ TV6 and High Def at 206. Here comes our pack coming up Shannon Street now. And this is the first time we've covered this, the 5th annual year. And you can tell how close he is. Now he's just about to lap them. Now we got a change in. We got a battle for the lead here right now.
Battle for the lead. Rojas has gotten in front, and actually Pingen more than likely would be appreciative of Rojas getting in front of him so he could get on his wheel and conserve a little energy.
But right now they're going stride for stride.
Although in the grand scheme of things, he is really not concerned with Rojas because they are, even though they're racing in the
same event
on the event at the same time, they are in 2 totally separate classes.
But then for a junior, this is quite an impressive show.
That is quite impressive. You will see, kind of we were talking about.
And then you're making up that lap as quickly as he did, or that gap as quickly as he did.
This is a kid that's got a bright future ahead of him. And 305, Carter Jackson.
Is he giving way now? Is he being passed by someone?
He is being passed.
But I don't know if it's someone that was on the same lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was somebody on the same lap or not. We'll try to pick that up next time through.
We're in the final now. We're approaching the 49th minute of a 50-minute race, and so we're 11 minutes away. They'll ring the bell at 50 minutes, and there'll be 1 lap to go. So they will ring that then as the leader goes by. Is that
as soon as the leader comes through, that'll signify the
one more lap.
They'll ring the bell, and you will see the fastest lap of the race by far.
Okay, so everybody's holding right now. That's the shot. You're looking down toward the Rocket Dough Cafe there, and of course this is back in front of the lift, and this is that pack that we have been talking about. That's been 7, and here are our 2 leaders.
2 leaders, and they are getting really, really close to lapping the field.
They're in different classes in the same race, and so but they are battling for the lead, and this obviously counts for both of them. And then second place, we will check that. That's the finish line. That is the finish line of the race.
Right. You do have an uphill finish, which also means you have an uphill start, and you are going from a dead start straight uphill. You know, not a real bad hill, but it takes a little effort to get moving up that.
Okay. So let's go through. Our leader is.
Leader right now is number 313, which is Georg Pingen.
In second place, then, we have 311.
Gabriel Rojas out of Wisconsin.
And once again, they are in different classifications.
And in third place, number 305, Carter Jackson out of Brentwood.
And then the rest get scattered out for us. And these are two leaders. And right now, it looks like 311. It looks like Rojas has gone into the lead as they go up that hill. That's the hill that goes up in front of the Jackson Walk.
Right.
To the peak turn to the right. And then we'll pick them up shortly there at the blue tent as they come back onto Shannon Street. Steve Bowers and Alan Wardley with you, and this is live at E Plus TV 6, a presentation of E Plus TV 6, the JA broadband system, and the Jackson Energy Authority, all the divisions of JA in this coverage day. Our first time to cover the Rockabilly Grand Prix.
Would not be surprised to see Pingen just let Rojas take it. Because he's not concerned with him. It's not going to affect his placing. He's going to be the overall winner.
So for Rojas, it would be a big important step, though, to win this.
Oh, it would.
As a junior to take this race. And so they are side by side, and 313. Pingen is back in front from Jackson, Tennessee, from Union University. So he and Rojas are the ones that are battling this out. Like I said, they're in the same race, but in different classifications. Coming up the hill, they've crossed the finish line. And we are inside 10 minutes left in this race. And that's the pack. And they are in position to lap the pack, which is pretty amazing.
They will lap the field.
So here's the turn coming from Lafayette in toward the farmer's market.
And they are right on the tail end of the field now. And
so they are keeping the pace. So they got to make that S-curve in that traffic.
They're going to make the S-curve, and these guys
breaking away. Yeah.
They knew who was coming by, so they did. They wanted to let them by. You definitely don't want to get in their way.
So the pack has been lapped, and so this focus now is on these two. Once again, racing in the same event in different classifications. So it's pride and everything else on the line here, especially for this junior, Mr. Rojas.
Yeah, the junior, it's bragging rights. You're not in the same category, but
but if you win,
you want to win first overall, not just first in my category.
Okay. And so we'll see the rest of the field is scattered out here. We're beginning a little bit of cloud cover and breeze in downtown Jackson. We have not had any rain. That was maybe a spot shower or two. Here's our lead cycle. And so our leaders are coming up, and right now it looks like Mr. Rojas is out in front, and then the pack is falling in right there with him. And Pingen is the leader in the Cat 3 category now. Rojas is the leader in the
Cat 3 juniors.
Junior. And so,
which is under 18.
And now Pingen pulls back out in front. So they're coming up the hill. Pingen is in front, followed by Rojas, and then this is the rest of the pack. But that pack has been lapped. They are not in second or third place.
They're not in second and third. Your second and third place riders are actually ahead of this entire pack right now.
Now they're making the turn onto Lafayette Street. There it is, onto Lafayette Street, coming off Shannon to Lafayette. You see that right there where 101.5 is located, and then they make a hard right past Jackson Recording Services, and head in toward the farmer's market, the area that comes toward the sheds, and then down, and the S-curve goes through the lift, the Jackson Walk Apartments. And so that's an interesting configuration there for these guys.
Yeah, it is. And I'm in my mind trying to figure out the points overall because of number 309, David Piercy, being the points leader coming in for the weekend in this category. Pingen right now does have what he needs to win the overall.
Okay.
Because there is a rider within the Cat 3s that is between him and David Piercy.
Okay. Now, if I'm in that pack, do I want to get back inside the leader lap? That would make a
You do want to.
It would make a difference for me.
Yeah, you do want to.
They may be racing in some traffic here as we go in the last 5 minutes of this race.
Correct, yes.
Because that would get me back on the lead lap, so to speak. Here comes our sign. Hey, Mr. Rojas.
Rojas is actually behind Pingen right now, and then the rider you see directly behind the motorcycle
is a lap rider.
Is lap rider Tim Taylor. Okay. And Tim could easily just say, hey, I give up, pull off the course, but it's not in his nature.
Okay. Tim Taylor, he's the one that raced out of Lexington, right?
Right, that is right.
But now we've got several guys that have picked up the tempo.
Yeah, you've got David Piercy out of this group that's jumped out front. But bear in mind, your race leaders are actually in the middle of this bunch right now.
Middle of this pack out here right now. So we'll kind of keep our eye on the pack. And the two numbers we're watching are 313 and 311. 313 and 311, that's the battle for the lead. And then everybody else trying to get back on the lead lap. There they are. Right now, 311 is out front.
They are on the same lap now. All except for 301 and 321 out of the group that you see right now going down that hill.
So you let them go by, or are you still your battle is?
Yeah, you're fine with letting them go by because they're not going to affect your position. And a lot of what you want to do is just hey, just stay out of my way. I've got this thing. I don't want to get tangled up, overlap wheels with anybody.
So Pingen out of Jackson, Tennessee is 313, and then Rojas is the leading junior in this. It's two classes in one race, and they are approaching now about 4 minutes left to race. They will race until 10 minutes after 1. This is our first full event that we've covered live this afternoon here at E+ TV6, and that is the motorcycle that sets pace and lets everybody know that these are the leaders coming in. But right now, that's kind of a confused situation because everybody's in this pack. The actual leader will either be number 311 or 313, which of those you see first.
You've got Pingen on the right of the screen right now, just went back to the front of the group. And Rojas is going to be a couple positions back, although he is still overall second place right now because other than Pingen and Rojas, everyone else in your screen right now has been lapped.
All right. So right now, Pingen is right back in front of this pack, which puts him in first place a full lap ahead of all these other racers.
That is correct.
They're in this group here heading in. This is what we call turn 1 and coming up on turn 2, which comes off of Lafayette into the farmers market, right down toward the farmers market offices and the sheds. It splits those entities right there, and then they head down this S curve. There's the farmers market office down the S curve toward the Jackson Walk Apartments. They'll blow through the stop sign there, then head to the peak of that hill, turn right, and then make another quick right back onto Shannon Street and come by the lift. That's the start-finish area here. And so we're down inside now the final 3 minutes of this race. So we'll have 3 minutes, and then we'll hear the bell, and then there'll be one more lap to go.
One lap to go once you hear the bell. This will be the fast lap. Everybody's going to use everything they've got left on that one.
Do you want to be in the pack in a fast lap, or you rather be out there by yourself?
You want to be by yourself. A field sprint, when it comes down to the entire group sprinting at the end, it gets really, really hairy sometimes. It's kind of like restrictor plates
with NASCAR. If somebody goes out, everybody wipes out, right?
Yeah, you're coming down to the end. You're tired, but you're going to use every bit of energy you've got left.
Well, let's see if Pingen has been able to establish some distance or even wants to in this. He's got this race well in command because his competitor has been number 305, and that's going to be a distant second if that position is still holding. And we'll have the race results officially coming for you later. The Pingen out of Jackson, Tennessee, number 313 is the rider that we're watching. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix live on E+ TV6 and EPlusTV6.com in the final minutes of this race.
And we just saw on the screen Rojas was looking over at Pingen and motioning his arm as a gesture looked as though there was a question, and you saw Pingen nod his head yes. So they're looking out for each other. They know they're not going to affect each other's overall. So.
Okay, so this is, like I said, they're in the front of this, and they're racing the same race, but they're in different classes, and so they're taking care of each other right now.
Yeah, my guess would be, hey, let's be nice and not get caught up in anything and end up hitting the pavement.
The rider that was out in front of the pack there was number 309, and that is who?
309 is David Piercy.
David Piercy, all right. So he was kind of leading that pack, but not leading this race. But that tells you kind of how. And so there they go up this top of the hill. So we'll pick them back up coming on Shannon Street. We're going to be down right pretty close to that bell ringing, right? Or did it ring this last time? That bell is ringing. So as they come by, then that will be the last lap?
That should be the last lap coming up now.
And that's the one that we will watch here. It's spread out.
I believe this is going to be it. You're seeing the cameras get ready down there. People are breaking out cell phones.
This is our finish right
This is our finish right here. And
And we'll pick up the finish. The finish line is just down from us. The motorcycle is just about to cross the finish line. Everybody spread out, but this is not going to be the winner of the race right here.
Not going to be the winner of the race. And coming through, your winner between Pingen and Rojas. Pingen did take it.
Okay.
And your second place finisher was not in that sprint, but he was far enough ahead. It will be number 305, Carter Jackson.
All right, so Carter Jackson comes in second in this. Well, that is our Cat 3 race, the first one that we've covered completely, and we'll get the results in and have those for you. Coming up next, then, Alan, will be the
Women's Pro Category 1, 2, and 3, which will be at 120. Okay. And they will be doing 40 minutes, and their overall prize payout is $1,000. That is for the weekend.
Okay.
For the day, the total purse is $600, which it will pay the top 6 positions.
So Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3 coming up next. Who are people that you look for in that one?
I'm going to be honest with you. The odds-on favorite, which would have been a no contest. Okay. I don't mean anything disrespectful to anybody else that's here this weekend, but that person is not here.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't seen the names yet, so I really don't know yet.
We're going to take this break, and we will be right back. We're going to take a couple of minutes break here and kind of regroup. And once again, our winner from Jackson, Tennessee, from Union University was number 313.
Georg Pingen.
And second place, 305 in that pro category was Carter Jackson. He's also out of Tennessee, right?
Right. He's out of Brentwood, Tennessee.
And then our leading junior in this was 311, and that was
Rojas.
Okay. And Rojas is out of
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
So we've got a lot of folks here from a lot of different states. This is Rockabilly Grand Prix coming to you live downtown Jackson, Tennessee. We'll take this break and we'll be right back, and we'll be getting ready to go with our Women's Pro 1 and 2 coming up next as we continue live coverage of the Rockabilly Grand Prix from downtown Jackson live on E+ TV6. We're back live, and of course we've continued live camera work, and now the double wides are playing rockabilly music downtown. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix coming to you live and direct on E+ TV6 and worldwide on the JA broadband system at eplusTV6.com. Jackson, Tennessee was the first full fiber to the home city in Tennessee, and it makes it possible. Steve Bowers with you, and Alan Worley is with us, and we're covering the Rockabilly Grand Prix. Alan, of course, with Bicycle City, has been participating in this sport for years. We have some people set up that he's going to talk to about that. Alan, so take it away.
Right now, we've got the race director, Matt Joyner, here, and we're gonna kind of get into, first of all, Matt, how did this whole thing come to be 5 years ago?
Well, what we actually did was, I guess it was actually 8 years ago, we first got the idea to do a bike race in Jackson. We started with the Mark Spensdorf training race, and it was actually just a one-day road race. And our first race, we had 80 riders. It was just an A-B type concept with just 2 different races and 2 different groups, and we threw it together, had some prize money, and had a blast. Next year, we didn't even market it. We just sent out emails and did a Facebook page kind of thing. Next year, we came out, and it had 130 people, and we decided this is really working pretty well, and people in Jackson are really getting into it. So then we brought about the idea of making it an omnium. And part of the idea that we had with wanting to do that was we had 3 main points we wanted to do. We wanted to bring people that were racing or riding bikes in the city the opportunity to race in their hometown.
Right.
And we started out with like maybe 5 guys that did the first race. Now we've got a team of guys here, and we probably have 20, 30 Jacksonians in the race, or Madison Countyans, you know. So that was our first objective, to get guys in Jackson, girls in Jackson, racing bikes.
Correct.
Then we wanted to let everybody in Jackson who's not racing bikes know that there's this kind of event here, and get people out and seeing that people are riding bikes, and it's a big event, and it's fun, and it's cool, and it's a great thing. Even if they're not racing, I just want them to know, hey, that looks cool. I'll get my bike out of the garage. I'll take it to Bicycle City. I'll take it to Hub City. They'll tune it up, and I'll go ride.
Yeah, create enthusiasm for the sport.
And then our third objective was, there's a lot of people who ride up and down I-40 day in, day out, or every other week or whatever, have no idea how cool downtown Jackson is now, because they're not seeing it from the interstate. So we thought if we can put a race downtown, we're not going to bring everybody down here, but we can bring 300 or 400 people who don't come to downtown Jackson and see how great everything is down here. And every year we get compliments about how nice the people are down here, how great the stores, how Rockin' Dough Pizza is great. They love it. Grubs is great. They love it. The lift, the people go crazy over Lift Wellness. Like, there's no other race I know of that you have a gymnasium fitness center right there with lockers, showers, everything you need. You take a race, you go take a shower, and you're done and clean up. It's amazing. There's nothing like that out there. So it's just been a wonderful success. And hopefully every year I talk to guys that had never been through the actual city of Jackson that say, well, you know, this year it's great. I came through a couple weeks ago and I went down to Rockin' Dough Pizza and had great pizza and it was awesome. So
they come back.
They come back.
They come back. They've been through the area.
Yeah. That's right.
They are. Matt, thank you for being here. Thanks for putting the race on.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Well, Alan, which one are we watching now when we get into this?
We are watching. I've got to find the number on here.
Okay.
Get the right sheet in front of me.
The expectation, and we're just underway now with the women's Pro 1-2.
Number 217 is who we need to watch in this race.
217 is the one we're going to watch.
The one that you see when they roll out off the start line has a huge smile on her face.
Okay, is that right? So number 217 is one we're going to keep our eye on in this race. Tell me about her.
Kirsten is from McKenzie, Tennessee. She is a physician's assistant. And
they will race how many minutes? 40?
They're going to do 40 minutes.
40 minutes, all right. So they will race until 2 o'clock.
They'll be going until 2 o'clock. Kirsten is a triathlete. She runs, she swims, she's obviously a cyclist. She excels at all of them.
Okay.
She will show up at our group rides Tuesday and Thursday nights.
She is what age, roughly? Not that you can ask a woman her age.
She'll shoot me, but she's 38.
Okay. All right, so
we have it right here in front of us.
Okay. So she's been doing this for a long time.
So it's not a big secret. She has. She's just the most humble person. You can tell her, hey, congratulations on your latest world championship. Oh, thanks. It's not really that big a deal. And she's sincere about it. There's nothing arrogant about her at all. But, you know, one of the ongoing jokes of some of our group rides is you'll see her attack a hill and take off, and we're looking at each other going, she goes up that hill faster than we go down it.
Okay,
it's
she's
demoralizing. Sometimes.
She's one of the best riders in the world, and she is here in Jackson, Tennessee, and she is number 217. So we'll keep an eye on her. We're just underway. This is the first lap, and they race for a specific. If you just joined us, this is the Rockabilly Gran Prix in Jackson, Tennessee. They race for a specified amount of time plus 1 lap, and so we are underway right now. And so everybody's just kind of pacing and coasting and getting things turned loose here. This is the course is set up for those just joining us. We're on Shannon Street, and then you're looking down toward the turn there at Lafayette at 101.5, and then they'll turn back to the right by Jackson Records, and that's the turn you're seeing coming up to get back, head toward the farmers market. They're coming off Lafayette. They'll be coming off Lafayette here, and there they make the turn. So what you're seeing now is that area that approaches the offices of the farmers market, which will be on your right, looking at the television screen. The farmers market on the left, and then they head down toward the Jackson Walk Apartments, and then take it down there up to the turn there. Is that Orland Street? Is that the one?
I believe that's Orland Street.
Up there, and then they will turn right there, which is the very peak, at the highest point in the race, up that hill. They'll turn right and then make a downhill, quick downhill, and then a hard right back onto Shannon Street, and that's the lap. It's 0.7 of a mile. These racers race by classification, and they race for a specified amount of time plus 1 lap. And so you'll see the sprint at the beginning. They'll ring that bell to let you know that there's the final lap is underway.
That they're on the last
lap.
And we don't see it, but as these particular ladies are coming by, you have your officials tent. They give you time or lap numbers or how many laps are left, so they're able to look up and tell
when they come by that area. So we're just underway just a few minutes. And the motorcycle, if you just want to, the motorcycle is one that kind of leads. That's kind of like the pace car in NASCAR in a sense, except it's out there during the race, and it just lets everybody know where the leaders are in this. Everybody's staying grouped right now. It's early going, just the second lap in this.
They're kind of just going to warm up, test each other out, and
is there anybody in here that can challenge her, or is she just kind of in a league of her own?
I honestly don't know a lot of these girls. I'm familiar with a couple of names. There is one particular girl I know, Marta Kaiser out of Memphis. I do know she is a very strong rider.
What is her number?
Her number is number 399.
399, okay. Got to keep a peg there just in case. She's out of Memphis. But everybody's just staying put right now.
They're just kind of testing things out right now. You will, at some point, start to see.
It stayed close to the last race
that
we did. The Cat 3 stayed close for the first 20
few
minutes.
laps. You want to get warmed up and kind of get a feel for the course a little more.
Okay, and then we'll see. And the cycle that's leading this is looking back because, you know, the pace is not what we're going to see coming up a little bit later. This early going of this is women's Pro 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Pro 1, 2, and 3. Now, in that situation, if I'm Pro 1, I'm racing in my own class. Is that what I'm doing?
It's all Pro 1, 2, 3. They're not going to break them up. The only time they would normally break them up, it would be like in the prior race where you had the juniors. Also, I want to point out.
So these are all racing for the. So first place will be first place here.
First place will be first place.
Okay.
And then the shot we just had, where they're going past that stop sign, this is a closed course. So if any of you are watching and thinking, wow, they just keep blowing right through that stop sign, it is a completely closed course.
There are barricades and tapes and all this other stuff up to protect everything. Even you can't get through Lafayette.
Yeah, we're supposed to stop at those normally.
And so far, knock on wood, so far the weather's been cooperative with us. We've got rain in our forecast. We've got cloud cover around. The cold front's coming through.
And we've heard a little thunder around. So
far, so good in downtown Jackson, Tennessee. If you want to come down and see this, the area to get is right in front of the lift down there. The double wides playing rockabilly music during the breaks down there. That area in front of Grove's Groceries, Rock and Dough, and all that. And so that's where we're headquartered. All right, so we're getting a little bit of breakaway now.
Little breakaway. I am going to have to wait till she comes by us to pick that number up, but
this is early going of this.
It's early going. That is number 213, Diana Ramos out of Woodstock, Georgia.
Diana Ramos out of Georgia. Everybody else is staying.
Everybody else is just kind of staying together.
217 is the one that we're going to watch closely. And
217 is the rider to watch.
And she's moved up now toward the front of that pack. She's in third place currently, and so you don't look for this lead with 213 to hold.
I do not. The rest of that pack is just. The mentality is, hey, just let her go. She's going to have to work harder than we are because we're in a group. But they will keep an eye on how much time. And a lot of these riders are going to have friends right here in the start-finish area that may be giving them a time split.
Okay.
They're gonna watch their watches as they come by, and you will hear, if you were down in that area, you're going to hear somebody go 15 seconds, 20 seconds, things of that nature, just trying to let each other know what the split is.
The pace is beginning to pick up now for the pack a bit from what we saw. We're early going. We're 10 minutes into a race that is going to go until 2 o'clock. Until 2 o'clock today, or right around 2, maybe 2:02, whatever. But they are just underway. But we're 10 minutes into this, and so things will start spreading out a bit. By the time we get to 20 minutes, then it'll be a completely different feel to this. The lead cyclist is just making the turn there, coming onto Shannon Street, approaching the lift. This is Diana?
This is Diana Ramos.
And Diana
just going to take a shot out front just to see if she can get away, but the field's really not that far behind
her. Diana Ramos right now is your leader, and she is from Georgia in Jackson, Tennessee today for the Rockabilly Gran Prix. This is the Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3. The Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3, but they're all racing in one classification, one race. And so Diana's just trying to get out in front, I guess, as much as she can. She knows who's back there, right?
They know who's who, and then Kirsten is.
Okay, now this 217
217. Kirsten Sass has picked the pace up on the front of the field, and she will definitely test out and see how the legs of her competition feels. Last year, I believe she lapped the field early on.
It's closing pretty quickly. Diana Ramos is out there, but Kirsten now is coming up, and so that lead has disappeared. So if you're going to stay in front, it's not going to be easy. And so now that the field is beginning to, and so Kirsten Sass is out in front now.
And these other ladies know who she is and what she's capable of. So what they are going to want to try to do right now is leave her on the front. They
can draft behind her.
They want to
just
draft
try to stay
behind her, and they want to
have
her use. Yeah, want to stay right on her, but they want her to use as much energy as possible.
All right, so Kirsten Sauce is from McKenzie, Tennessee. She is number 217, and she's out in front of this race. We're 10 minutes into a race that will go all the way until 2 o'clock. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. Steve Bowers and Alan Worley doing this on E+ TV6. First time that the Rockabilly Grand Prix has been on television. It's also being streamed worldwide at ePlusTV6.com. So you can spread the word on Facebook that coverage is out there in case you have friends that are cycle fans or want to show off downtown Jackson, Tennessee. It's a good time to do it. Now the pack and everybody's staying together right now. So here we go. And Kirsten Sauce is setting the pace out here, number 217.
Yeah, you'll see her moving back and forth across the course right now, and she's looking back. She's trying to get somebody else to pull through. And what you're going to have right now is an attack from a rider out of the field to see if she could possibly get away. This is going to be number 212, which is Jessica Edens out of Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
Jessica Edens is out in front now, number 212. They're making the turn. They've gone onto Lafayette Street, and now the cycle is just turned down toward the farmer's market. And so she is out in front now still.
She's in front, but they've already started to pull her back in. There's not going to be a whole lot of a gap here. She's looking back. She's going to see if it works, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, if they catch her quickly, she's going to back off, get back in the field, and not try to use this.
But Kirsten is perfectly comfortable with that.
She's very comfortable with it right now.
Don't want to stay out in front. What would be the reason then to go ahead and challenge and get in front at this?
A lot of times it does work. You're able to catch people off guard. They're not able to react fast enough, and you're able to get away. And if you're able to really use everything you've got and sustain it and not run out of energy, sometimes it's just a roll of the dice, and it does work.
Okay. One of the rider we'll be looking at will be number 399 and out of Memphis, Tennessee. You said to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, Marta Kaiser is Marta's an accomplished cyclist.
All right, we're coming back now on Shannon Street. This is going to make the hard right turn for our leaders. We'll see who's in front. We've had 212, 213, 217. So we've had different riders in front. And so now let's see. We're coming up toward the lift, toward what is the start line.
Start line.
And boy, the pace is different.
That is Kirsten Sass on the left of the screen. She's going to see what they've got. She'll play with them a little bit to see who's going to want to come with her.
Now we got a bell ringing down there. So this is, what do you call these laps?
This is a preem. So whoever's first through the start-finish on this next lap.
So Kirsten is back in front now, number 217.
217 followed by number 398, which is Carly Carter out of Madison, Alabama.
A lot of different states represented. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix. This is the Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3. All three of those divisions in one classification, Women's Pro. That's what we're watching right now. This woman out of McKenzie, Tennessee, is a world champion. Just came off a special event this weekend, landed, and wasn't expected to be here. Right?
Yeah, I was saying earlier, you asked me who was going to win, and I said, well, normally I would tell you right off the bat who's going to win. And then as I was interviewing Matt, I realized that Kirsten actually had flown back in time and was going to do the event. She just won a national title in a duathlon yesterday.
We're in Jackson, Tennessee, right off North Shannon Street, looking out toward Highland Avenue. And, of course, right down the hill from us is the lift and Rocket Oak Cafe and all that. The double wides are down there playing rockabilly music during the breaks. So you can come down here and enjoy yourself and see this live firsthand. We're pleased to be bringing it on television for the first time in Jackson, Tennessee, the Rockabilly Grand Prix. It's 2 days of racing. Started yesterday with the Bicycle City Rockabilly Road Race and then the Rockabilly Time Trials. And this is the Giant Downtown Criterium and the third phase of all this. And we're back on the leader situation, and we will see. Kirsten's still out in front.
Kirsten's still riding on the front.
Kirsten Sauce is out. Sass. Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, Tennessee, a world champion cyclist. Well, folks are trying to stay with her.
They're staying with her. Of course, what they just went through was for the preem, for the prize, and what she will probably do now is go, okay, these girls just use their energy to get their prize. I'm going to see what they've got and take a shot at picking the pace up. So you think she'll start making a move? She may start making a move.
We're 15 minutes into a race that goes 40, and the race will continue until 2 o'clock. And when you get to that, the time, the 40-minute time, then you race one more lap. They're headed down toward the Jackson Walk Apartments. They'll blow right through the stop sign and then head up toward Orleans, which is the peak of this, up at the top of the hill, and then turn right there, and then immediately go downhill and another hard right coming back to Shannon Street. 0.7 of a mile. The laps don't count. It's the time.
It's the time plus a lap. And not to take anything away at all from any of these other ladies, but Kirsten is just on a different level. Sometimes you're going to have a race to where you're going to have somebody that's you just have an idea.
Is there someone comparable in the men's division that would just dominate this coming up on the pros that you know of, or is she kind of in a league of her own?
No, she's in a league of her own. In the pros and the men's, there are several guys who are going to have a very, very good shot, but on any given day, any of these guys win. Kirsten, more often than not, especially on these, regional events like this, she's usually the one that's.
Is she doing a regional event such as this one because it's in her home area? Support this?
She's doing this for fun.
Okay.
Her main sport is triathlon, which that's where her world championships have been.
So this
is in triathlon.
Kind of relaxation.
This is training. This is training for a triathlon. Okay. She's doing it for fun.
Okay. Setting the pace, Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, Tennessee, number 217, is our leader coming up the hill.
Smiling.
If
I'm at bobbing her head and smiling. If I'm at this point of a race right now, I'm trying to keep my tongue from getting wrapped around in my spokes. My tongue hanging out. I'm not. Okay. I'm not laughing about it.
And so there she goes. That's the turn on Lafayette. And they'll make that hard right past Jackson Records and come down right between the farmers market offices and the farmers market itself. And the motorcycle sets the pace. It keeps everybody aware of where the leaders are in these races. This pack is holding pretty well together. There's one rider that's lagging behind, but most of the pack has stayed together.
They've stayed together very well.
Kirsten could set whatever pace you wanted to then, really.
She's pretty much going to set the pace for a while, and it's not going to come down to a sprint finish. At some point, you're going to see her probably take off and distance herself from the rest of the field.
We are approaching, it's not exact, we're coming up toward 20 minutes. We'll be halfway through this race, and we may see things start spreading out. It did last time with the men's Cat 3.
Right.
And the men's Pro 1-2 coming up still. That race is scheduled to start at 2:30 today.
That'll start at 2:30 and will be for an hour plus one lap.
So this is the Rockabilly Grand Prix coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. Steve Bowers and Alan Worley. Alan with Bicycle City has been doing this for a long, long time and says that there are, if you want to get into this business, you talk to Alan or any of the folks that do this, Bicycle City and Hub City Bicycle, and then there are groups that ride every Tuesday and Thursday.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, and one of the better ways to find out is on Facebook. The Jackson Spokes has a Facebook page, which is constantly being updated with letting people know everything that's going on with events in town.
Okay. Are there other, we were talking about, we have the organization here. Are there other key organizations in West Tennessee, certain cities that have strong cycle groups?
I do know in Memphis you got the Memphis Hightailers, which is similar to what we have here.
Okay.
We have actually got number 212 going to take a shot here. Jessica Edens out of Kingston Springs has got about a 50-yard gap off the front. Going to see what she can do. Going to test out and see what happens with the rest of the group behind her.
Jessica Edens is out in front right now. Once again, she is from
Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
Kingston Springs, Tennessee. We have people from multiple states here, and she is still out in front.
This race, you've got Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama represented, majority obviously being from Tennessee.
Well, Jessica Edens, the person we're watching now, she's created a bit of a gap as she goes through the stop sign there in the Jackson Walk Apartments, headed up the hill. That is a pretty significant climb, and then when you peak there, you head immediately downhill towards Shannon Street.
Pretty hard right turn, and then it does go downhill
and another hard right.
And you're in excess of 30 miles an hour going down the hill, and then you have a really hard right turn.
And that's where we'll pick them up on our next camera angle. Then we'll bring them right past the lift. We're halfway through this race. We're racing until right around 2 o'clock. It's a 40-minute race, Women's Pro 1 and 2. Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, the one that we're watching, but Jessica Edens right now, number 212, is the one in the lead.
That last turn is why you see right by the stop sign more hay bales there than anywhere else on the course.
Just in case they're needed.
Yeah, because you're flying right there.
All right, so she's moving quickly now, and Kirsten is digging.
She's sitting back in the field, conserving energy. And a lot of times, they may be able to close that gap right now, but they will not do it on purpose to leave her out there and having her use more energy up. Okay. So, hey, she's pretty strong. We may let her just stay out there in front and work a little harder for a while.
Kirsten has dropped back into the pack here. number 214, right now in second place. 212 is our leader, Jessica Edens. Just made the turn on Lafayette. Then you see the gap there, and the pack then is coming up. We'll hold it right there. There's the pack. So that's where all of our second, third place riders are. And then we'll see Jessica making that turn now. And she's headed on off Lafayette, now down toward the Jackson Walk, past the farmers market, past the dog park and all that down through there. Well, it is a great showcase for downtown, isn't it?
It is. It draws a lot of people into downtown, and I've had people that just happen to stumble across it. Past couple of years, they may have come down to eat or go to Grubs, and hey, what was going on? And they really get enthused about it.
The Rockabilly Gran Prix is in its 5th year in Jackson, Tennessee. We've had hundreds of riders come in for the road race. Yesterday was out near Trinity Christian, out in that area, and it was an 11-mile road race, multiple laps.
Multiple laps on an 11-mile course. Yeah.
And so a different style. But this is a 7/10 of a mile lap race, but it's not set by the number of laps, it's set by time. You run a specified time plus 1 lap.
Plus 1 lap. And this is really more of a spectator event than the road race is, because it's such a short course, you're going to see the riders come by more often.
Yeah, and can kind of keep up with what's going on with the motorcycle.
You're much more able to keep up with
what's happening. The motorcycle tells you where the leaders are. This is a lapped rider here that you're seeing on the screen right now, and so the rest of the pack is coming up. Yeah, and that pack is the lead, and that's still Jessica Edens, I believe, number 212.
Number 212, but they have gotten back on her wheel. So
now the bell just rang, and so that bell is signifying
on this next lap there will be
some kind of prize.
Some kind of a prize.
So whoever's in front with this. And here comes the pack.
Here comes the field right now. Number 212 still sitting on the front, which is Jessica Edens. And sitting in second place, number 214, Cat Sweat out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, so Cat Sweat out of Birmingham is right now 214, number 2, and then Kirsten Sass, number 217, is in third place. And she's the one that we expect, that Alan expects, and I do by derived wisdom here, we expect her to win this race.
Speaking of Birmingham, Alabama, I'll kind of throw out a hello to my son, Drew, and his fiancee, Holly, who are not able to come home this weekend. Drew's up to his eyeballs and studying for the bar exam.
Okay.
Did get the Father's Day call this morning.
All right, well, that's good. That's good. It's Father's Day here, 2017. Everybody's this is a little easier pace than we've seen.
They're just kind of cruising along right now.
We're over halfway through. We got about 17 minutes left in this race.
There's a lot going through your mind at this point. It's okay, who's going to go? Is somebody going to go? You're really looking and trying to. You're guessing what somebody else is going to do, but at the same time, you're planning your own strategy as far as what you may try to see if you can get out of the field and get away from everybody.
How does it affect the rest of this field knowing that Kirsten's in this race?
They know but also it's a challenge to them. I mean, if you're competitive, you want to beat the best. You know that she's the strongest one here, and if nothing else, hey, I stayed with her for this many laps.
Okay,
and even that is a victory in itself. Sometimes when you are competing against some of the strongest cyclists around, and we've done it at group rides. Hey, I was able to stay in with the main group up until this far from the finish. I'm pretty happy with myself right now.
They have made the turn now, and let's see. Kirsten Sass is the one that we are watching. She is not leading this race right now. It looks like Jessica Eden is still out in front, number 212. They're coming up Shannon Street, up to the lift. That is the crossing there at the lift. You see the change in pavement. That's the start line. Then you'll see a striped finish line further up the hill, and it's done so that there's some deceleration area. And she's pushing still.
Yeah, she's still pushing, but she's pretty much at the point she needs to drop back into the field and save some energy for later on.
Now number 211 is pulled up in here, and that's a different number for us.
Yeah, number 211 is Stephanie Nave, Nave, from Johnson City, Tennessee. Oh. Which this hilly course shouldn't be a challenge for her.
If she rides on the hills and hollows up there, she ought to be in good shape.
Yeah, it's all relative. We considered the road race course yesterday as being hilly, but the people from Nashville are going, no, that's not hilly.
That's not hilly.
But the people from Memphis are going, yeah, that's a pretty hilly course. So it's all in the terrain what you're used to.
Now we're getting another number out there. So we have 213.
213. Diana Ramos from Woodstock, Georgia is going to give it a shot.
She had been out in front earlier today, and so now she's setting the pace, going up the hill in front of the Jackson Walk Apartments. They'll make that hard right there, and then a quick hard right back onto Shannon Street, and we'll come back and we'll follow us. We're now well over halfway through this race. It's a 40-minute race, and it will continue until 2 o'clock, so we've got about 13 minutes left in this one. I'm not sure the exact time of this race. It could be 13 to 15 minutes, but they'll let us know. They'll ring that bell for that final lap. Right. We're over halfway through. Interesting, in this race, everybody stayed together. In contrast to the last one,
has stayed together.
It started spreading out a little bit earlier.
Up
and by the time we got to the end, the 2 or 3 guys that were leading were almost out. They weren't there by themselves, but they had lapped the pack.
Yeah, the big thing right here, there has not been just an all-out attack. There have been a few little, let me test and see what the other ladies have, but so far nobody's just really given it what I would consider to be an all-out effort to try to get away from the rest of the field.
We got another preen lap here. They'll ring that bell again, so let's see who's in the lead coming up the hill now.
Yeah, and a lot of times these preems are designed to break the field up. You may have somebody take a shot at the preem and just try to keep on going as hard as they can on up this little rise in front of us and try to get away from everybody.
Our leader now is number 215, and that is
15 is Arden Stelly out of Ooltewah, Tennessee, Chattanooga area.
All right. We're streaming this live at ePlus TV6. We appreciate everybody that's all over the world there, Facebook sharing the fact that this is being streamed. And so we welcome you into downtown Jackson, Tennessee for the Rockabilly Gran Prix on television locally in Jackson for the first time, thanks to the JA ePlus broadband system and cable system, and, of course, the Jackson Energy Authority. One thing you can count on in Jackson and West Tennessee is JA. So number 215 is, once again, that's Arden
Stelly out of Ooltewah, Tennessee.
Out of Ooltewah, Tennessee. We've had several leaders in this race. So Kirsten's just kind of enjoying the day.
She's enjoying the ride.
All right.
Yeah, it's just it almost, as a cyclist myself, it almost makes you sick to watch somebody out there just smiling when you know the amount of effort that's being put out. And I wouldn't be smiling at this point. It's these are some strong ladies out on the course, and I'll also point out, when you're watching this on TV, it looks slower than what it is in person. It definitely looks slower than what it is in person. I've made the mistake before in the BMX days, seeing certain guys race on tape and going, oh, wow, I can't wait to race this guy. I'm going to kill him. Then I get to the race, and I'm going, okay, what happened? Okay. Obviously, he's faster than what he looks like on tape. Yeah,
it depends on camera angle and everything else out there. And so we will see. Weather's cooperating with us so far. We got cloud cover downtown and a nice breeze. Which, hey, if you're racing, this makes it comfortable out there. We hope that rain will hold off. We'll continue to monitor everything out here. But we're on the shed at the farmers market, Shed B. This is our group. Not just our leaders, our entire group. They have stayed together, with the exception of one rider that has kind of dropped off the pace. But everybody else, this is Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3, the Rockabilly Grand Prix, the 5th Rockabilly Grand Prix in Jackson, Tennessee. Coming up the hill now.
You're going to have somebody going for the preem, and which is also when Kirsten is going to take a chance of attacking the group.
Now here we go. Kirsten Sass is out in front. Now she is setting the pace, and we're going to see if things spread out a bit. We're coming into the final 10 minutes of this race, and so she's decided to make this move, I guess, now.
I believe she obviously had made it, her strategy. I'm going to let them go for the preem, but once we go across the line, I'm going to keep going. And this is probably when she's going to make her move to try to get away from the field.
We'll know shortly, because they're headed up toward they're going past the Jackson Walk Apartments now. They'll go up this hill, and once again, 2 hard rights. They'll be back on Shannon Street. We'll be looking for that cycle and see who emerges coming around the corner. In 213, one of our prior leaders, Diana from Georgia, right?
From Georgia.
Steve Bowers and Alan Worley with you, and we're live at ePlus TV6 and ePlusTV6.com on the World Wide Web. We're in high definition at channel 206 on the JA broadband system. We appreciate JA sponsoring this and making this coverage possible. Yep, out there by herself. She's beginning to spread things out.
Got a lead. They're working hard to try to get it with her, and she may or may not let them regroup.
It's the first time we've really seen this pack break up.
They have definitely separated at this point.
And so it came with about 10 minutes left in this race, and Kirsten Sass is coming right by us right now.
Yeah, Kirsten with the lead, still smiling, obviously. And then followed by 214, which is Cat Sweat out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, and then 212, then 215. Who's 212?
212 is Jessica Edens out of Kingston Springs, and 215 is Arden Stelly from Ooltewah, Tennessee.
This is Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3 of the Rockabilly Gran Prix coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. We're 10 minutes or so left in this race, and there is your leader, Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, Tennessee, and she's setting the pace now, as she's been expected to do all day. And we'll see who can stay with her. But that pack that had been out there for 30 minutes of this 40-minute race has just broken up. And it has spread pretty quickly and pretty dramatically.
Really shattered this field.
Yeah. One of our prior leaders just now going by, so it is really spread out. We've had a bunch of leaders in this race so far today, but now, as expected, Kirsten has set the pace out here and is pulling away. We're seeing some of those that are in the back part of that, what had been a pack, out there on making their way past the Jackson Walk compartment. So our leader should be hitting Shannon Street soon. The cycle is here, and Kirsten is the person we should see next. Second place rider's staying in there pretty close.
She's definitely staying close. Another thing I'm kind of impressed with Kirsten is the way she's taking that corner. As fast as you're going, she's not going anywhere near the edge over by the stop sign. So I don't know what her technique is, but she's definitely slingshotting through the corner, because you notice the second place rider went way closer
wide,
to the curve.
Right, yeah, a lot wider. Right there in front of the lift, you see the lift. And this is Kirsten going right by us.
And number 214, Cat Sweat, is definitely not going to give up and let her get away. Not without an effort.
Then we got 215, 212, and 211 in a pack right there behind them.
Yeah, 215, Arden Stelly, 211, and 12.
399 is in there, the young lady out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, Stephanie Nave, and then Marta Kaiser, number 399 out of Memphis.
So Kirsten Sass is our leader, kind of in a league of her own, or she's expected to be, and she is out there today now. It stayed close for 30 minutes out of the 40-minute race. We're getting down. We're inside the final 10 minutes of this. This is Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3, part of the Rockabilly Gran Prix in Jackson, Tennessee. We're coming to you live from downtown Jackson. It's a 0.7 of a mile course that is laid out around the lift. The Jackson Walk splits between the lift and Jackson Walk's apartment. Great showcase for downtown Jackson, and an excellent turnout for a full weekend of racing that started with the road race yesterday. And how many classes do you have in that road race, Alan?
In the road race,
Bicycle City Rockabilly road race,
you're going to have 3, 6, 7, 8. You're going to have 9 different categories. So it's a full day.
It was 11-mile road track or course, not track, but course out there. And then depending on your division, how many laps of that you ran. Some ran as many as 6, so you had 66-mile races in that yesterday. We're coming close now. We're inside the final 10 minutes of this race. Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, Tennessee, is leading the way, as you see, coming back by the that's the finish line right there up the hill from the Jackson Walk offices, and she's pulling away, is in this by herself now. And that was kind of expected. That
was expected, and she's being followed by number 214, Cat Sweat out of Birmingham, Alabama. Kat's not giving up. Kirsten did increase the lead slightly on that lap, though. So
Kat's kind of hanging in there by herself.
She's definitely hanging in by herself.
Then we got 3 riders that are coming right behind her, and we will see if they challenge then in these last 5 minutes. So these top places are still pretty much open, other than Kirsten, unless something happens there that's totally unexpected.
Yeah,
the rider that you'll see in front of her is going to be lapped.
Yeah, and you're looking for, if you're a racer, you're looking for a podium spot, which is top 3. Yeah, you want to be in the top 3.
Top 3, okay.
You want your picture made, so you're on the Jackson Spoke Facebook page, and just let people know, hey, here's what I did.
Here's what I did on this Sunday, the Rockabilly Gran Prix in its 5th year in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll shift from there, and we'll head back towards Shannon Street. We should see the cycle coming around the corner soon as we get into the last 5 minutes or so of this race. They will race to somewhere around 2 o'clock, depending on the exact time of the launch, but we should be close to within 5 minutes. And here comes our cycle. Here's the shot going down Shannon Street. Oh, down.
That is Kirsten Sass has gone down.
That is Kirsten, and she is down. Alan, did you get back up from that, or?
She came right back up. It's going to depend on what kind of shape the bike's in.
Well, that's an unexpected development there, because as you talked about her technique.
Yeah, her technique. I noticed she wasn't going as wide, and I kind of wondered what was going on there, but That is a tough corner. You come
Now
through there really flying.
Let's pick up now who's going to be leading this race.
Your leader should be I believe it was number 212, Jessica Eden.
Now Kirsten is
she's going to get back on the course,
but we're going to see. All right, so we will shift number 212 and this. But that has grouped up all of a sudden.
The rest of the group have reeled her back in. So
we're down now to a real push in this race. An unexpected development with Kirsten Sass going down there in that turn, coming up on Shannon Street, and dropping way off the pace here. And this is not your leader here. The leader
is not your leader. That's
the leader is coming up here. And so in this group of 4. That's where the battle is going to be. So this is an interesting development. 215, 211, 212, and it was 212 was the one that was leading. That was Cat Smith out of Birmingham. Cat Sweat out of Birmingham. Out of Birmingham. So a real unexpected development.
And here's Kirsten back on the course.
She's back on, so her cycle is okay. We'll see.
Looks like the bike's okay, but. I don't know how much time's left in the race right now.
So we're inside 5 minutes of this race, and this is a real unexpected development as Kirsten went down in the curve. Alan talked about that's where the hay bales were.
That's the toughest part of the course. And
now there goes our cycle.
What he's doing is he stopped when there's a crashed rider. It was a crashed rider, but the reason he was going by so fast, he's going to get back up and get up in front.
He's going to try to get back and catch because our So here is our group, I think, right?
Right.
Coming up Shannon Street.
That's your lead group.
This should be the lead group right here.
So with Kirsten out of the picture, the way this is looking right now, this could come down to what is called a field sprint when you have a large group of riders going to be sprinting for the win on the last lap.
We're somewhere inside 5 minutes of this race. This is Women's Pro 1, 2, and 3. And with Kirsten Sass going down, then it's anybody's race now. Now we're going to see who can pull out.
We're going to have an attack from number 213, Diana Ramos from Woodstock, Georgia.
211.
These girls are going to try to pick the pace up because they know Kirsten went down. They don't know whether she's back on the course or not, but they know what she's capable of. Right, so the pace from that group's definitely going to pick up at this point.
So right now 213 is in the front of this race, and that is
Diana Ramos.
Is she there, or did she get lapped? Alan, and I'm wondering now because she just dropped way off the pace at one point.
I believe she's your race leader.
All right. They're right there together. We'll see what she does if she tries to stay out front or if they let her stay out front. And then this is the other group that just went past us here.
They just went down into the stop sign area behind us, so they're about a third of a lap ahead of Kirsten Sass right now. Yeah, Kirsten went through the corner and it looked like just the front wheel just went out from under her.
Yeah. That was a real surprise. I mean, she was way out in front of that and had been negotiating that without swinging wide out there. Alan had commented on that technique that he didn't really know how she was doing.
Yeah, she was not going as wide as people normally go. And you got to think these bikes, most of these tires are taking 120 pounds of pressure. It's based on volume, and it's a narrow tire. So the narrower the tire, the higher the pressure is going to be. So there's not a real wide footprint on the road, which big reason for that is lack of resistance. But then again, you're going to sacrifice some traction.
All right. So it was that situation. We'll double check, see what's happening here now that we've come around the corner, because we were looking at 212 was one. Because I was thinking that 213 had been lapped. We'll just double check that and see who's back up front. I think number 212 is back out in front now, right?
Believe that is number 212, which is Jessica Edens out of Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
Jessica has been out in front in this race before, and in fact, set the pace for a good portion. Now, the bell is ringing. Is that the last lap?
That means this is the last lap.
This is the last lap. So we're going to know now. Here we go by, and our leader currently is number 212.
Number 212, followed by 214, which is Cat Sweat, and number 211, Stephanie Nave.
And then 215. And that is who? That is
215 is Arden Stelly.
Okay.
And look how close this has gotten.
Yeah.
But
Kirsten is still on the race.
Yeah, but she's still in the racetrack, but there's too much gap right now for her to be able to make this up. So this is definitely going to come down to an all-out field sprint among those 5 or 6 riders that just went by.
Here they are coming around. They are now on the Farmers Market, come off of Lafayette on the Farmers Market. They're heading down toward the Jackson Walker Apartments.
Did you look and see who just came around that corner behind them?
What do you think? You think you may need to be? Look at this.
Oh,
there
boy.
she comes. She is hoofing it. Kirsten is coming, and she is catching them. This is amazing. This is amazing. All right, so we're hanging on now. We're kind of in that blind spot on the backside of the moon,
We're going to have an exciting
riders
finish here,
to come around on Shannon Street to see who is here. Is Kirsten Sass going to be able to catch this group? She definitely had made up a lot more ground than we thought she could, and so we're waiting. We're going to make the turn. That's our tent, marking the final sprint coming up Shannon Street, and so going to be.
This is a lapped rider
Jessica
coming around
Eden
right
knew
now.
it.
You've got the motorcycle.
All right, here we are. Now the
there.
finish line is past the lift. The lift is the start line, and so here they are. And we got 5 cyclists right there together. This sprint. Now this is the start line, but the finish line is the white stripe right up the hill here.
Coming up the hill, which is going to be number 211, Stephanie Nave out of Johnson City.
Wow.
But did you see who was right in that group?
Yes,
that is amazing.
That is amazing thing. You can go down and
make
get almost
up
a lap behind.
half a lap with 5 minutes left.
5 minutes to go out there. And so once again, number 211, and that is
Stephanie Nave out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
Stephanie Nave out of Johnson City, Tennessee takes our women's pro 1, 2, 3 classification. This is the Rockabilly Gran Prix. It's coming to you live in Jackson, Tennessee from downtown. This is the 5th year for this event. Steve Bowers and Alan Worley with you, and it's 2 days of racing. Hundreds of people coming into the city for this event.
So much for my prediction, but it goes to show anything can happen. You kind of sit over here and go, "Oh yeah, it's a done deal. She's in a league of her own." But that's why you go ahead and race. I mean, anything can happen.
She demonstrated that how much ground she made up, obviously within that last couple of minutes, which is pretty stunning. But still, our congratulations to Stephanie Nave, number 211, who is our winner in our women's pro 1, 2, 3 race today. The Rockabilly Grand Prix continues in Jackson, Tennessee. We have one more big event coming up, and that's the men's pro 1 and 2.
This will be the big one.
And if you got an idea of our entries here,
we have. Well, let me count through this. You have 18 entries. Majority, obviously, are going to be Tennessee. You've got 1 Indiana, 1 Kentucky, or 2 Indiana, rather, 1 Alabama, and everybody else is from Tennessee. You've got Dixon, Goodlettsville, Nashville, Murfreesboro, Germantown, Chattanooga, Dover, and Haleyville, Alabama. So
the length of this race, Alan, will be what?
This will be for an hour.
It's going to be an hour.
Be an hour plus a lap.
We'll start at 2:30. It'll be an hour race, and so it will go till 3:30, and then we'll talk to some of the folks and wrap up our coverage. Will continue until 4 o'clock today. We're glad to be doing this live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee, courtesy of the E+ broadband system. Jackson, Tennessee was the first full fiber to the home city in Tennessee. A tremendous investment now with full gig internet accessibility and more gig if you want it or need it. All you have to do is talk to the folks at the Jackson Energy Authority. So you're watching us anywhere in the world. If you're looking for a city that's got great livability and affordability in lifestyle, and yet tech capacity, that's unsurpassed in this country, you can do business in Jackson, Tennessee. You can take $1 million to Silicon Valley and stay out there about 90 days. Or you come to Jackson, Tennessee with $1 million.
You're coming home after that.
Yeah, and you bring $1 million into Jackson, Tennessee. You got all the technical capacity you got out there, and you can make that $1 million last a lot longer. It may give you a year, 2 or 3.
And if you want to bring $1 million, I'll give you a mailing address. I'll take it.
And so you can burn it up quickly out there, or like I said, we lengthen the runway for a lot of business people and entrepreneurs in this city, particularly those who are in tech-related industries, because the money goes a lot further here than it does when you burn it up out there in California. So if you're watching us, you check about Jackson, Tennessee, JacksonTN.com. The new website, the website's been revitalized and revamped to showcase more of Jackson, Tennessee, as far as cooperation with Downtown Development Corporation, Convention Visitors Bureau, and so it's a comprehensive website. You'll get to know us. We think you'll like Jackson, Tennessee if you're looking for a place to do business. Anybody in this race that stands out as Kirsten did in the other?
Not as much as she did, but you've got some strong names in here. Out of Dixon, Tennessee, Micah Lee Bowes.
What's his number?
Number 107.
All right.
And these are the guys I know. Some of these names I'm not familiar with, but of the guys that I am familiar with, really the one big favorite is going to be Bryant Funston out of Germantown, Tennessee, number 113.
Okay.
Bryant is he's owner of a performance coaching business, and that is all he does. So he is running, riding, swimming. That's all he's doing for a living.
Okay.
And the thing is, he's got so many of his athletes participating this weekend. But and I've seen what he's done with some of these people. He's taken some of these people that just started riding and turned them into really good racers. But those are two of the names.
Guys.
But right now, the top name I would really look for is Brian Funston. But of these guys that are actually pros, you've got pros, Cat 2s, Cat 3s. Of the pros, Michael Lee Bowes, Jason Chatham from Goodlettsville.
What's his number?
He is number 108.
108. Okay.
Brendan Hausler out of Nashville is number 110. John Hart, number 111 from Murfreesboro. David Richardson from Nashville. Are all your guys that are at the pro level, even those as Pro 1-2s. These are all guys that do hold professional licenses.
So the pro guys, the ones we'll watch, again, pros, but they're all racing in one event.
They're all racing one event.
One event. But the pros, men's 1-2, all coming up. Well, that race will start at 2:30. We're going to step away, take a break, and we'll do some interviews and everything. Come back. We'll keep the camera here, and we'll just show you live what's happening downtown. Maybe pick up some of the ambiance from downtown. We're in front of the farmers market, or in fact under Shed B at the farmers market here, just in case it does rain today. The weather's been extremely cooperative with us for this event, so it's a perfect day in downtown Jackson. Enough cloud cover to keep it comfortable, and enough breeze to make you feel better, and excellent racing, and what a great race that last one was, and our congratulations to number 211 and that victory in a race that was being dominated in those last minutes by Kirsten Sass out of McKenzie, Tennessee, and she was expected to win and took that dive at that crash in turn 4.
It's part of racing.
And but we had commented, Alan had been commenting on her technique. She wasn't swinging near as wide as everybody else, so she had some special something she was able to do.
Yeah,
just got away from her.
You just got away.
All right, the men's Pro 1-2 will be coming up in just a few minutes. We'll start that race around 2:30. We'll step away for a few minutes. We'll keep you right here. eplustv6.com is where we're being streamed, and so you can check this all out, and we'll just keep the ambient sound going in downtown Jackson, Tennessee. This is the Rockabilly Gran Prix, the 5th Rockabilly Gran Prix, live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee on ePlus TV6. Group up in these early goings. You can take any direction, any personality you want. The guys that we're going to be watching, you say Mr. Bowes, number 107, and it was at Funston at 113.
Right out of the gate, out of Georgetown, Indiana, Jedediah Fritzinger has
set the pace.
So they're gonna start out.
We're not gonna lollygag around here in a pack. We're gonna get here and string it out from the very beginning.
Going to start out pretty hot, and as we've talked about, we've really got to watch corner number 4,
all right,
especially with it being wet.
With it being wet. Well, these guys they're on a fast pace, and this race lasts for an hour. You can tell the effect of the rain out there on our camera lens out there. Now here we're getting set. This will be the corner. This is where Kirsten Sass went down in that turn there. We call it turn number 4. When you come back to the main stretch on Shannon Street, our motorcycle has gone away. We have a pace car out there this time. And so we'll see.
Pace car leading the way.
So we'll like different than NASCAR. This pace car stays in front all the way around. And but 107 and 113 are two guys out of Tennessee that we're going to be watching in the men's Pro 1-2 as we get started. But this is a real change. We do have a pace car this time. That would be a little bit more difficult, I think, than pacing with a bicycle. With a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's kind of tight when you come up here through the farmers market.
And I got to turn on Lafayette and try to stay ahead of these folks here. So we're single filing out here, and this is the full field for our men's Pro 1-2. And the guy that's out in front right now is 281, but then somebody's pushing on the other side. So we got a real 280,
which is Arvin Jansen out of Nashville and Brian Funston right behind him.
So one of the two guys we were talking about watching, number 113. Funston is out there in second place. There's our pace car.
You've got the pace car.
That turn off of Lafayette.
Which does have an official inside it. This is a gentleman that has been in a motorcycle. And every one of these races, including the road races yesterday, each category that goes out has a certified USA Cycling official that's watching what's going on. There are certain rules that do have to be followed, and just making sure that there are no infractions that go on.
Funston is out in front right now as they head up toward that turn, and they will make that turn right at the peak point here, coming out of the Jackson Walk Apartments, and they'll head right down toward Shannon, that hard right that puts you on Shannon Street in front of the lift, and so we'll pick them back up. This coverage is being brought to you by the Jackson Energy Authority and the E-Plus broadband system. It's live on E-Plus TV6 and HD at 206, and then eplustv6.com. This is our first time. It's the first time for the Jackson Rockabilly Gran Prix to be on television in Jackson, Tennessee, so we're pleased to be bringing it to you. A little bit of spread now in this field, and this is coming early. These guys have been racing for about 2-3 minutes. Got a little thunder around us. If lightning comes along, then we take a break, I guess, right?
Yeah, if there's lightning, they will pull them, but otherwise,
right now it's going north of us.
Otherwise, it's going on.
It has rained here. You see the moisture on the streets, but it's drying out, and so it's going to be varied out there.
Funston and Arvin Jansen. And I'll be honest with you, Steve, the field is a lot slimmer than the amount of names that we have on our sheet here.
That's
so
right.
We may have some guys that just did not show up. Don't think the rain would have affected it. It may have been guys that pre-registered that just for whatever reason are not able to do today's race.
Yeah, race. Not here, though. There's our. And so here we go, Mr. Funston, Mr. Jansen. And so Funston's out in front. He looks back over his shoulder, as you can tell, so he's trying to keep pace. But they are way out in front now, the rest of this pack. This is early going. We're just underway. This race lasts an hour, and we're inside the first 5 minutes of racing. So, as we talked about, as Lance Russell used to say, 5 minutes gone and 5 minutes down and 55 minutes to wrestle and the Mid-South Coliseum. So we're inside the first 5 minutes of this race, and so most of this race obviously still to come. They will race for 1 full hour until 3:35.
You got Funston at 35 years old and Arvin Jansen at 17 years old, right behind him.
Okay.
Actually, Jansen is the only junior, meaning under 18, in this race.
Well, right now he is out in front. Let's see whether that holds remains to be seen.
Making an impression early.
Mr. Funston was one of the Allen's picks to person watching, and Bose number 107. Is another name to keep in mind. Let's say we're in the early going. There's a bit of a gap, you can tell, on Shannon Street. That's right in front of the lift. Funston looking back over his shoulder. Coming right by us right now in front of the Farmers Market, heading down to Lafayette. They'll make that hard right on Lafayette in front of News Talk 101.5, and then they'll head down to the recording service.
Jansen, and actually in third place right now, number 107, Micah Lee Bose out of Dixon, Tennessee.
So the two guys you told us to watch are two of the top 3 spots. So that's why Alan Worley is with us. Bicycle City. He's been doing this all his life. He knows his business, and so he is here. That pace car is an interesting thing. Is that normal, or a lot of them use cycles or motorcycles?
A lot of them use motorcycles. Yeah. We have done pace cars here in the past. Actually had a Lotus the first year.
Is that right?
Which kind of just added to the cool factor for this race. Hey, their pace car's a Lotus.
Their pace car's a Lotus. So get to Jackson, Tennessee. Well, Jackson, Tennessee has been a great showcase. The weather generally has been cooperative. Like I said, we had a pretty hard shower here, and it's a mixed situation. We got moisture still on the pavement, but it's drying off. We have thunder showers all around us, but not downtown. So you can still make your way downtown. There's plenty of time. This race is going to last an hour.
Yeah, if you want to come down and see this live,
road racing live,
it's something special.
Well, Mr. Funston now has picked up the tempo and increased the pace. He is out here by himself, and this is early going. We saw this kind of breakaway in the women's race, but it took 30 minutes out of 40, and then in the Cat 3 that we had to open this, it took a while. Everybody stayed in a pack. Mr. Funston has set a pace, and he is way out in front of everybody
else. I think what Bryant's doing right now, as I stated earlier, he's a performance coach. He's going, okay, here, guys, here's what I've been trying to teach you. So
here it is. Now we got to change. Number 271 is in second place.
271, that is Jackson McNear out of Louisville, Kentucky.
So Jackson McNear now moves into second place.
I didn't catch third, and back and forth is number 107, Micah Lee Bose.
All right. So there's number 113. That's your leader. Made that run down toward the Jackson Walk Apartments. They'll blow through the stop sign there. It's a marked course and sealed off course. Tape and cones and all those things up to keep people off a certain section of Lafayette and then around the Farmers Market. So it's a 7/10 of a mile lap. It is just underway. Just a full hour race, but much more spread out than we've seen the others.
It's been an early attack. Yeah, he's decided early that he's going to go and see whether or not he can hold it for the whole hour, and very well could happen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
so he could set this pace and hang on to it.
He can hold this pace for well over an hour.
Wow.
In fact, he just won the Tennessee State Time Trial Championship, which is a solo race against the clock last weekend.
It's beginning to group up a bit, and they're coming back within range out there. You see Mr. Funston, number 113. He's out of Germantown.
He's out of Germantown, correct.
Tennessee.
Yeah, he's
And
looking back, and he knows whether, if they get close enough, he'll go, all right, I'm gonna not use all this energy. I'll get back in the group.
Well, the pack is trying to pick up the tempo. They're trying to gain ground on him. And
yeah, number 110, Brendan Hausler, and number 107, Michael Lee Bowes, a little bit ahead of the main field. They're trying to reel him in.
So trying to catch him, and we're making the turn now. This is the turn coming off of Lafayette Street into the Farmers Market, going between the Farmers Market office, which you'll see on the right there.
Yeah,
and the
number
Farmers Market itself.
280. Arvin Jansen must have used what he had early, trying to stay with Funston. He's been dropped from the main field.
He's dropped way back off the pace. One of our early leaders and co-leaders.
But those bragging rights, he's 17, Brian's 35. Hey, man, I stayed with him for 2 laps.
Stayed right there with him for 2 laps. Put the tempo on and stayed with it.
I was, look at what I did.
Steve Bowers and Alan Worley with you, and this is coming to you live on ePlus TV6 and ePlusTV6.com and being streamed worldwide through the JA broadband system. We've got a pretty nice breeze, Alan. It
feels really good.
Pretty good. Right
and we got lucky with the rain. It actually happened between races.
So it gives the pavement a little bit of time to dry. Right in our start-finish line here is pretty dry, and so you're not taking, because we were concerned. Now here's the turn coming in on Shannon Street. And this is where Kristen Sass went down, right there in front of those hay bales. But this
so Brian's going to have 2.
So we got some guys now that have challenged, brought him back within the fold, as you say.
2 others, which should be Hausler and Bowes.
So these are the 3 guys that are right up front.
And these guys all know each other, and they'll work together to stay ahead of the main field, and then at some point they'll start to attack each other.
So Funston, number 113, still in the lead.
Followed by Brendan Hausler and 35, Micah Lee Bowes.
They'll make the turn. There they are, coming off Lafayette into the Farmers Market area, so no change in position right now as far as the lead.
See Bryant flick his elbow. That's usually a sign to, hey, come on by, get up front.
Okay. So he's wanting somebody else to come out front.
Yeah. He wants somebody else. If you're going to be up here with me, you're going to do some of the work. And at times, if somebody
they'll draft on each other,
they'll draft off each other. But there's a little head game going on. It's like, hey man, I'm not doing all this work. You're going to get up front. And you're going to give me a break, or otherwise we're just going to slow down and let the whole field catch us. There's a lot that goes on like that. There's a lot of tactics involved.
Early going. We are 10 minutes into a 1-hour race, and we'll race until 3:35 or thereabouts. 3:35. Today. So we're in the early going of this, so a lot of the strategy and everything else set up. Alan Worley with Bicycle Cities with us, and there you see the turn coming now onto, this is coming up Shannon Street, approaching the lift.
And Bowes leading the way with Funston and Hausler behind him. Main field's not that far back, although that camera angle makes it look a little closer than what they really are.
Because we're shooting straight down Shannon Street.
Right.
Now, when they go past here, you'll be able to see an idea of the gap. This is right in front of us now at the Farmers Market. We're under the Shed B. So they're going by, and then you can see the gap coming up with and they're about to make that turn onto Lafayette.
Yeah, what you've seen happen right now.
Funston is right back in the lead.
Funston's back in the lead, so number 110, Hausler, is not doing any work. So right now, Bowes and Funston, because it should have been with 3 of them working after Bowes, it was Funston and then Bowes. Hausler should have taken a turn at the front. So he is trying to what we call sit in right now and not do any of the work at the front. But that doesn't win you any friends in racing, so we'll see how the other 2 handle that.
Handle that, or they may slow down a little bit and try to force him past.
Yeah. Question for you, Steve. On re-air, will this be re-aired, or is it going to be able to watch?
It's my understanding it will not be. That we're live today.
Because I've had some of the guys asking, "Hey, when and how could I watch it?" So
I don't know this being encoded. It's our first time to do this,
right?
And so I think we're carrying it live, and I don't know if they're encode replays or now. Paul Schulze may have that and may be able to find it Worthy Road Productions or something. We'll see.
Right. Yeah, I just had several guys ask me, hey, am I going to be able to watch myself race?
on TV. We're coming to you live on ePlus TV6. For the first time, we're carrying the Rockabilly Gran Prix in Jackson, Tennessee. Alan, this has been a good event for Jackson.
It's been a really good event. It's drawn in people to, of course, Rock and Doe's got to love it, as does the Lift Center with the coffee and stuff like that.
Well, and they were talking, the Lift Center is a great place because they allow the racers to go and they can get a shower in between races or whatever they need to, and so they make the lockers and other things available to them. So it's a real cooperative effort for everybody in this area of downtown. And here go our leaders. Once again, 113, Mr. Funston. 110 is our
110 is Hausler, and 107
is
Bose, which those three are still.
Now, there you go. There, Bose is moving up now. So they're
Bose, but still 110 is still sitting on the back. So
yeah.
Hausler, so he's not going to do any work. But I do know that Bose and Funston know each other very well. So you never know. They could look at each other and go, "Hey, let's get rid of this guy. He's not going to help us."
He's not going to help. Then they may be pulling off to leave him. That's interesting.
Yeah, you'll see that even with a group ride sometimes. We call them sometimes Tuesday and Thursday night World Championships. Right. And, I mean, hey, if there's more than one person, you're competitive. And there are times we got back and there's always going, so-and-so never took one turn at the front, and then we had to do all the work. And it's like, okay, there wasn't a trophy at the end of it. It's a group ride, but we have a good time with it.
So if your guy doesn't share the time at the front and break the give you a chance to draft, then you run off and leave.
Yeah, you're sitting in, and the three of us are taking turns.
Let's see who's ahead right now. We got him coming up. Now the driver on the right is
it's Michael Lee Bose out front right now.
Yeah. The one on the right is Mr. Jansen that was out front early, 280.
Yeah.
He's going to be lapped.
He's going to be lapped.
But he had his moment. He had his moment out front in this. Coming up the hill now, they're crossing the finish line, and so see how we line them up in order.
I'm curious as to how long they're going to let Hausler sit in.
Okay.
Because he has yet to take a turn at the front,
yeah.
And it may get interesting here. I got a feeling you're going to see things separate between those three before too terribly long.
Well, all right.
Got a chase group of three people. Looks like they're trying to pick the pace up a little bit, see if they can reel them back in, because
this is the turnoff of Lafayette coming into the farmers market, and so back out front.
Funston's making a bit of a move.
All right, so he's making a bit of a move here. Followed by 110, and that's
110, which is Hausler, and then 107 is Bose. And even though he's lapped, Arvin Jansen's trying to get on that back wheel just to try to conserve some energy, but
stay with
he is a lap down.
16 or 17-year-old rider.
17 years
old in Nashville, and led this race for a couple of laps, and so he's in there setting his pace and trying to stay in with these guys as they lap him out here.
Right.
This is the men's Pro 1-2 at the 5th Rockabilly Grand Prix in Jackson, Tennessee, coming to you live from downtown Jackson on ePlusTV6 and ePlusTV6.com. Here we're on Shannon Street, our pace car, and rounding that curve there. Those four are still together. Funston is still going to be out front.
Funston's still out front. Bear in mind, your front three are a lap ahead of the fourth-place rider right now.
So those front three guys are the guys that we're looking at. And you can tell there's a good bit of gap between them and that second group of three.
Right.
So they're trying to set a pace and start trying to narrow that. They got a ways to go. Of course, it's a long race. We've been racing 15 minutes. We have 45 minutes to go. So Mr. Bose is out front. Funston is second. And then 110.
110, which is Hausler.
Hausler.
And then this 17-year-old Arvin Jansen, who is a lap down, is hanging onto the rear wheel of them.
But Hausler has not stepped up to take that lead at this point. Now we got to get that group. So that's kind of, we're setting the pace now. We're one-fourth of the way through this race. This is the men's 1-2, Pro 1-2. And heading up that hill. The Jackson Walk Plaza, you saw that road sign there. So we'll pick them up again when they hit that intersection there at Orleans and Shannon Street, right there in turn 4 where the hay bales are. That we haven't seen anybody have to use, though. Kirsten Sass did take a spill there.
Yeah, kind of worried. The street's actually drying out quite well because
nice breeze, so things have dried out quickly as far as the pavement.
Yeah, 30 miles an hour around a hairpin turn on wet pavement. It's not fun on a road bike.
Here's our pace car. Let's see, we don't see any change right now. Mr. Funston is still out in front.
So far, the story here is how long are Bose and Funston going to let Hausler sit in.
Sit in and let them do the work and him cruise in behind them. Number 280, Miss Jansen, is staying there with them. He's a lap down.
He's a lap down, but he's going to make full use of what's in front of him. And even though you're breathing really hard, you can carry on a pretty good little conversation while you're out there. And I don't think Hausler's hearing a lot of stuff like, do you want to go to dinner tonight right now?
Right now, okay. Number 272 is the rider that is in fourth place. Who is that?
272 is Jedediah Fritzinger out of Georgetown, Indiana.
Georgetown, Indiana. So he's leading that second group of riders out there as we take a look at the men's. This is the men's Pro 1-2. It's an hour-long run. This is our final race of the day here in the Rockabilly Gran Prix. We're talking about what a good event it has been to Jackson. It's brought a lot of people to this city. And this course, Alan says that many of these courses, this 7/10 of a mile, are set up on flat tracks. And this, of course, is an up and down hill, sharp turn situation in a couple of cases. And so this is a different, challenging type format. We say people like this.
People like it just because a lot of these, criteriums or crits will be held, if you got a really big parking lot somewhere where it's flat, and then quite honestly, a lot of court squares in some cities will do them, if it's a long enough type square. But this just having the ups and downs to it, so to speak, it really makes it a fun course.
Here go our leaders, and it's still 107, 113 back in front now, 107 and 110.
Yeah,
and then 280. So
Funston out front, Hausler in second, Michael E. Bose, and then Arvin Jansen, who's a lap down.
Arvin Jansen 280 is a lap down, but he led the race earlier and just kind of burned himself out there. But a young rider getting some valuable experience, staying in the same pace with these race leaders.
Hey, Mom, these old guys are pretty fast, so.
This is our second group, led by 112. And there are 5 in that group in this men's Pro 1-2.
112. David Richardson out of Nashville.
Okay, so David Richardson has moved into fourth place. Spreading out pretty well. We're 20 minutes now into this race. Approaching 20 minutes into this race, and they're racing 60. So we're 1/3 of the way through. And we got this group of 3. We'll see if they can hold together. It's a group of 4, but 3 they're on the lead lap. See if they can hold together. That's the shot going down, and that's our second place group there. That's the shot going down the walk, and here's the shot coming onto Shannon Street. So these are your 3 leaders, and that has not changed. I mean, somebody different maybe out front. Sometimes it's Funston, sometimes it's Bose. Hausler has not taken the lead that we have seen.
Still not taking a pull.
And that's still it. 113, right? 110, 107.
113. Funston, Hausler, Michael E. Bose, and Arvin Jansen. Lap down, but hanging on. So
here's coming the turn now off of Lafayette. Into the farmers market.
And Michael E. Bose has come back to the front to take a turn.
Tim, how many laps will they do in this hour?
It's taken them, roughly a minute to do a lap. So you figure an hour or so.
So it'll be 60 laps.
You're looking at close to 60 laps.
Okay. It's not a lap race, it's a timed race.
It's a timed race.
You race for an hour and then plus 1 lap.
You're jockeying for position this whole race and trying to get out front so that when that bell rings, you're out far enough in front that you're able to be the first guy across the line when you come back in.
What is the training protocol for this type of stuff?
As far as specifically the criterium or just the racing in general?
Just racing in
general. A lot of it.
Do people try to run? They do exercises?
Most of the guys, if they're a bike racer, it's going to be the bike. You will see a lot of guys that'll do. There would be some weight training, some running involved, but usually it's just different miles. But people will go out and do shorter, high-intensity rides. They'll do long, steady rides and use a heart rate monitor, keeping their heart rate within a certain zone. There's a there's a lot of science to it now. As far as the actual racers.
Well, the man that's taking the pull right now is number 110 now. That's Bose, and then Funston is coming back up 113.
Yeah, it looked like Funston was coming around him.
Like the 110 has yet to avail himself of that opportunity. Is that the way you'd phrase that?
He's not going to be a dinner guest to the other two tonight. I promise you that.
Okay. So 113 and 107 been carrying that load out there. 110 is now in second place. We'll see if he takes that step up, Mr. Hausler, if he'll take that step up into first place. He's getting closer anyway. Boy, interesting that Jansen led the race early and then dropped way back, has been lapped, but he is staying with them.
But he's staying in, and this is kind of what happens with the drafting. A lot of times you can recover. There have been times I've been dropped like on a ride and think, if I can just get caught back up to the group, and times, it'll happen, and you can get in, and you're using 30% less energy. It'll give you an opportunity to kind of get your breaths back, and next thing you know, you're good. It's
well, here come our leaders carrying onto Shannon Street, and we've had another shift out there, I think.
Funston back in front.
Funston's number 113.
Followed by No Pull Hausler and Micah Lee Bose. It's kind of some of the nicknames we'll give each other out on some of the rides.
On the rides, all right. So No Pull Hausler is our designee here.
There's rides where we'll be out. Next thing you know, we're almost stopped, and the people are like, "What are you doing?" Like, you're going to take a turn at the front somehow, and now's your time.
Mr. Bose right now in third place, and Jansen in fourth. You're watching the Rockabilly Gran Prix live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. That's the shot of Shannon Street down at the Rocky Dough Pizza. And that whole patio was covered with folks until we had that rain shower. And then this is the shot as they head down toward the Jackson Walk Apartments. And you see a little bit of drop-off now for Alan Jansen, 280. And now Funston's back in third. So somebody else has gone up front.
Bose back in front.
Our leader should be coming around the turn here. The pace car will be out front, and then we'll pick up the leaders.
Looks like since the rain, Jeremy Blankenship down under the blue tent. Corner marshals made quite a few friends. I guess that's from the rain. It was like, hey, we need the shelter.
Need the shelter. Got a tent during the rainstorm, you'll have friends.
I think a microphone on those three would probably be pretty interesting right now.
Next time we'll have a microphone and a GoPro on it. We'll see what we can do. Well, they're ringing that bell and they're trying to get, I guess, stimulate some activity out there.
That's going to be a preem. Now, with them ringing it for these three, it's going to be between these three. They're trying to break these three up and see what happens.
Okay. So break them up.
So you, depending on how much they want it, there are times you've got the leaders like that. They're like, they're going to go, it's not worth the $10 gift certificate or whatever it is. But
Mr. Bose is out in front right now. I want to say we'll see if that holds as they come off Lafayette Street into the Farmers Market. Going by the office of the Farmers Market. We've made a shift already. Mr. Funston's back in front.
Funston, Hausler, Bose. And if Hausler wants to come say anything about me picking on him, I'm just going, hey, you should have pulled, man. That's what the other two were probably telling you.
That's shot on Shannon Street as you see the race course here. That is the fourth turn in this four-corner lap, 0.7 of a mile for the Rockabilly Grand Prix. Here comes our leaders.
It's a lapped rider.
That's a lapped rider
right
lapped
riders right there. So your leaders should be coming to
there. They come. And Mr. Funston's back out in front, number 113. So you got two riders that are about to be lapped.
Yeah, and lapped riders know to do what these guys are doing. Normally they're going to pull as far to the right of the course as they can when they know the lapped riders are coming by, because the last thing you want to do is affect the race when you're out of it. And look who is in front. It took a prize to get him out there, but he's looking back already, wanting to know where the other two are.
All right.
Okay, guys, get back in front of me, and that's exactly what's going on.
So Hausler got out in front to pick up the prize.
They pick up the prize and,
then
immediately wanted Funston back in front.
Well, we're getting exposed to Alan Worley.
But you know, we're picking on the guy, but it's actually smart race tactics.
Okay.
That's actually what you're trying to do. You want to do as little work as possible.
272 and 273 are about to be lapped. They are about to be lapped. Our leaders are coming up right here behind them, and those three guys right there are the ones that are the.
That's the
leaders.
race.
That's the race right there. Yeah, and so they'll be making. They're working their way up now to the corner up there in front of the Jackson Walks Apartments. They'll make that corner onto Arlington and a downhill pretty quick right back on Shannon Street, and so we'll pick them up. But the three that are in that group are the ones that we're watching most closely.
That's going to be your podium, meaning your top three.
So that's the way it's been since this. I guess just about this race broke out much earlier than the others.
Yeah, these guys went real early.
The pack stayed intact in the women's race. 30 minutes out of a 40-minute race. But these are the three guys that we're watching right here up front. They have lapped our other two riders there. And so these first three are the folks.
First three, your yellow and white helmet and your blue helmet on the back there are lapped riders. So this is the race lead with the three right here.
There it is. There they come. These are our three leaders right now.
And you see Hausler, their little packet that he's putting something in his mouth. There are energy gels out there. It's basically to give you a little boost of energy or to get things into your system, because these guys are actually going to be putting something into their bodies for energy. Food's where it comes from, but it's a gel that's broken down to where it's easily digestible. So. Keep you from depleting your anything in you that's going to help giving you energy.
Well, there are three leaders right there, 113, 107, and 110. And that's this is the men's pro 1-2. Right. And we are just about halfway through. This race started 28 minutes ago. And so it's a 1-hour race. So this is kind of the pace we've set up. So these three. Alan, is this unusual for someone to break out this early and just kind of stay out front?
It's not.
Okay. So
actually, Funston, I've seen Funston do this several times here, but a lot of times these guys will do it, and and sometimes it's because they know who the competition is and they kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. But then other times, the group will sit back and go, let him go, let him go, let him go, and next thing you know, they realize we let him go too long,
way too far,
and can't reel him in. So. It's just a tactic, and a lot of times you'll see them looking back over their shoulder. They want to see who's coming with them.
It's somewhat deceptive because some of these riders have been lapped, and so it looks like there's a bigger group than there is. But here's your leader right here, number 113, Funston. Then 107 is Bose, and then 110 is Hausler, and those are the three leaders. The other riders have been lapped, and so it looks like a group of five battling for the lead. It is not. Those three are the ones that are up front right now. They are well ahead of the second place group that has yet to come by here. And so, unless there's a spill or something, if this pace continues, these three are just staying right together. We'll see if somebody can break out of this three. They're heading down toward the Jackson Walk. And once again, 270, 281 have been lapped.
And again, right there, that is one of the two fastest sections of the course. It's deceptive again on camera, but you just don't realize how fast they are going. But going down into that area, and then once they get on the back corner, which is the hill they were about to go up in that shot, coming down into corner number 4, which is the one we're seeing right now on the screen, are the two fastest sections of the course. But even right through the straightaway where the gentleman's walking across right now, these guys are probably hitting 30 miles an hour.
Okay. We'll watch them and see how they angle. Once again, Kirsten Sash took a spill, but she wasn't going as wide as they are.
No,
she was much more in the middle.
I'm almost wondering if she just turned her bars too much and didn't let her just stay with her bike going through and fought it coming through there.
Words of encouragement from some of the spectators along the side there is our top three leaders. Our three leaders are right here in the front of this group of 5. The other 2 riders have been lapped.
And again, it's a signal that's used. You saw Bose kind of just throw his elbow out. We call it flicking the elbow. Okay. That's letting the guy behind you know, hey, I'm done at the front. I want you to come through.
They're on Lafayette now, making the turn off Lafayette into the farmers market. See if there's any change in position. There is not. Mr. Funston is still out front at 113, followed by 107 and then 110. They are our top 3. Other riders have been lapped, so that's the focus of the race right now. This is the men's Pro 1-2, our final race of the day in the Rockabilly Gran Prix live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. Happy Father's Day. All the dads and granddads of folks out there today. Waiting for that turn coming into Shannon Street. There have been several companies that have sponsored this event, including Bicycle City, which is Allen's company, Hub City Bicycle, Giant Bicycles, Drop Socks, FTB Advisors, Todd Rustin, the Hampton Inn of Jackson, Hub City Blueprint, Memphis Record Pressing, BFC Performance Coaching, Mark's Bensdorf Realtors at the Lift Wellness Center, and then the Jackson Walk Apartments, all bringing you this event in Jackson, Tennessee, and the Jackson Energy Authority and the E+ Broadband System bringing you this televised coverage and internet streaming coverage of the Rockabilly Grand Prix here in Jackson. Our three are still holding pretty much intact. This is the start line here where the race launched. This is the finish line that's coming up. No real change of position.
Yeah, and as they're coming in front of us, you're getting the lady over here across from us is giving a time split, letting them know that they're 30 seconds ahead of the next group.
Okay.
Which is
wow,
perfectly legal, just in case anybody wonders. But kind of lets you know where you are with your lead on the course. So
this is a group of four, but again, way off the pace of the event.
Group of four, but they are lapped riders.
Yeah.
With the exception, I believe, of number 112. Well, number 112 is David Richardson out of Nashville. I believe the other three, which included the 17-year-old Arvin Jansen, have all been lapped.
Okay. This is the key turn as you approach the finish line. This is Shannon Street as you make the turn up here, and here's our pace car. Here's our top three.
All right, I am hearing Josh Jacobs, PA announcer, announcing $50 cash preem on the next lap.
So we'll see somebody right now. 107, as Mr. Bowes out in front, and Mr. Funston, number 113, and then Hausler, one that got up front, number 110 last time to win the prize on that lap. So we'll see if that changes. Here we are making the turn off Lafayette into the farmers market. Those top three. Once again, there are two lapped riders in that group of five.
Bowes went way wide, and the tactic there, he is, I think, trying to get Hausler up front.
Is that right? Or leave it to him and see if he'll stay up front.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Hausler right now is in second position behind Funston, and so we'll see how they do as they make the turn here. This is the turn that's coming up, is the one onto Shannon Street.
It's going to be good. Of course, these people walking across right here are, need to definitely have their heads to their left as they're coming through there.
Now, this is a rider that's off the pace. Our leaders will follow the pace car that should be coming up. There's the pace car. So our three leaders. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee on E+ TV6, high definition at 206 and EPlusTV6.com.
Funston, Hausler, and Bowes, and we are going to watch the finish line here to see if any of these guys want the $50 or if they just want to hold their position. Looks like Hausler wants to win the preems at least. And he did, and he's going to try to attack him. He's been sitting in all this time.
Okay. Well, he's set a blistering pace now, so he's moving out.
He's tried to move out.
He's trying to move out.
Micah Lee Bowes on his wheel. Of course, what he's been doing is it's smart. We're picking on him, but he's been smart with it. He's been conserving energy. So he and Bowes are out front.
We have 25 minutes to race, and a change in the leaderboard here with Brendan Hausler.
271 trying to latch on. However, he is a lapped rider. And then 113 Funston, who has been in that front three all day long, is dropped off a little bit. But don't count him out for not getting back on into the lead three.
we'll see how they fare. We'll be waiting for that turn coming up around Shannon Street. And so this is very, very important. We're now into 25 minutes left in this 1 hour race. So this race is half over now. And you see how the field is spread out. And these are riders that are going to be lapped. Here comes our pace car. We've had 3 leaders in this position, but that may be changing. We've got 3 riders there, but it's not the same ones.
2 of the 3 are.
So Funston
are on the same lap.
Dropped back, and so
Funston has dropped back.
4th on our camera, 3rd in the race.
Right. Yeah, the orange jersey that's in those front 3 right now is actually a lapped rider. And then we have Arvin Jansen right here with the that just went in front of the screen. And Michael Lee Bowes has gone to the front with Hausler behind him. Do have to point out, though, Hausler, Nashville, Michael Lee, Dixon, these guys may have been working together against Funston the whole time.
They may have been. Unaware of the teamwork that's involved in the sport, but Alan has been very helpful in pointing this out. So we got a real break now as Funston has dropped off this pace. And so we got 107 and 110. And then Funston is beginning to lag back now. So a real change in this as we move into the last 20 minutes of this race, or getting close to the last 20 minutes of this race. We're about 23 minutes out. 1 hour race, 23 minutes to go. And a real change now as Hausler and Bowes have pulled away, and Funston has dropped. He's still in 3rd, but has dropped off the pace out here. So we're looking at a 110, 107, 113, still a combination. But it is different. Funston's beginning to regroup and get back in this. He's currently 4th.
He's
second pack.
like I said, don't count him out on getting back in, and probably coming up going, hey, Michael Lee, good job. You got Hausler to the front for a little bit. So maybe it's me he doesn't like. No. And we've got a little moving around among those 3, and Funston is right back into the mix right now. Your lead 3, 271, 270, who are Fritzinger and McNear, are both 18-year-olds. They are lapped by the front 3 right now.
So 107, Bowes, then Hausler, and then Funston. And so that's 107, 110, 113 right now. They've been shifting this position. But everybody's staying in close. I mean, we are now, out of an hour's race, we are close to 40 minutes into this hour.
And I will point out, Funston, like I mentioned earlier, is a performance coach, and he works with people on running, cycling, multitude of sports. And Bowes is a cycling-specific coach over in Middle Tennessee.
So we're 2/3 away in this race, and they have this threesome has been the threesome now since the early going of this thing. We had a few, Jansen, some others that were there just for a brief amount of time in those first few laps. But these guys, these top 3 guys, have been pretty steady at this, and they're kind of in a race by themselves out there right now.
Yeah, they're definitely your podium. It's just been interesting to watch how little Hausler has gone to the front. So
here's our lead lap.
There we go.
Pace car, that's the start-finish line right in front of the lift. Coming up the hill, that's the start line, and the finish line is right here. This white stripe that you see that is right there. So this pace is pretty steady with these guys. But all through, nobody's been able to shake this or tried to shake it, I don't guess. We had that brief Hausler that time that seemed to be out there setting a different pace, and then backed away pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I will point out those first 3 are all, coincidentally, 35 years old.
Coming off
each of the 3 of them.
Each of the 3 coming off the Lafayette Street in the farmers market. So there's Funston, followed by Bowes, followed by Hausler.
I remember being that age and thinking I was old. Little did I know.
It's well, yeah, age changes everything.
Yeah,
as far as your perspective, what's young and old.
Now it's some kid about 35.
Yeah, that's it. I understand that one completely. Out of my
my grandparents were 37 and 39 on my mother's side when I was born. I think about
Wow.
that now. You know, it just, you know, of course they married in their teens, so did my parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's like, you know, different day and time. Different day and time.
Here's our pace car. Mr. Funston back up front. It's a second and third, and they're looking over shoulders and who's going to do what to whom. $20 gift card to Grove's Grocery
On the next lap.
on this next lap.
Well, you could always come out
So
and
Bose
go.
is up front now.
Always
Funston.
come out and go, I didn't win, but, man, I won a lot of prizes. So
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, I guess the next question will be if Hausler jumps this prize, right there with that sprint.
he's taking the first two.
He's taking. He has
I'm
taken.
not- I don't know what the first one was. I know he's pocketing $50
$50
cash.
on
So.
there, and got a $20 gift card from Grove's Grocery coming up now. So we'll see what he does on this lap. This is the Pro 1-2. This is Rockabilly Grand Prix, the 5th annual Rockabilly Grand Prix in Jackson, Tennessee. We're coming to you live from downtown. This is the Lift Jackson Walk area. And you see the Jackson Walk apartments as they head up toward turn 3. That's an S-curve situation. And once again, Bose right now, number 107, is in front in this race. They'll make that turn down to Shannon Street. So we got through our spot here, and then we'll look down the street and see who we've got coming up right after that pace car.
And we'll see if they're going to make it in before. I just heard a little thunder.
A little
so
thunder.
We'll see if we're going to
Race
be
in.
dry for the remainder of the race.
There we go. Well, these three have been amazingly steady and consistent. I mean, they've totally separated themselves from the people that are with them have been lapped, and so they've separated themselves from the rest of this
Yeah,
field.
you could just tell there was a conversation going on between Funston and Bose right then, and not much of a sprint, but Hausler does take his Grubbs groceries on that one.
Okay.
Funston looks over at him and shakes his head like, okay.
All right, we'll see what Mr. Funston does. He's out in front right now. Mr. Hausler claimed his prize and dropped back to second place. So if Funston wins, he can say, well, I did this one by myself, right? I did this one by myself.
He is an exceptional athlete, and I don't know Hausler, to be honest with you. I do know Micah Lee and I know Bryant. Both of them are exceptional athletes, but also really great people.
Well, those are your top three, and they make that run up the hill toward our turn 3 and turn 4 that will bring them back to Shannon Street and bring them by the start line and then the finish line as we move through this race. Checking our time now, we are 45 minutes into a 1-hour race, so we are 3/4 of the way through this race. But this one, in contrast, like the women's pro, the pack stayed together 30 minutes out of 40. And then you start seeing the breakaway. This one, these guys broke away early, and they've been out there by themselves for a good portion of this race, and you know the lead spot has swapped a time or two, but not for long. These three have been the only ones there. Others are, and I guess if you've been lapped, you just want to get ready for your next race or the conditioning. This is trying to see if you can keep pace.
Yeah,
with
you
the
put in the
leaders.
time getting ready. So, hey, I want to finish. I still want to do it, but
Right.
and quite honestly, hey, at least it looks like I'm up front.
Right there with
and,
them. Got some great photos. Television cover. Funston is still out in front. Number 113 as they make that turn. Now, here comes Bose. And Bose is going to move to the inside. And so, yeah, that cutting off there in that turn. And this is the turn coming off Lafayette into the farmer's market. We'll see if Bose is still out front. He is.
Yeah, and once they go out, well, I don't know if we pick up part of it right here. Yeah, it's kind of a hard left. Yeah, we do get it. That's a little trickier through there than what it looks like. It's you're kind of right, left, back to the left, and it's one of those things you got to be on your toes going through there. Plus, you're picking up a lot of speed.
Hauser's still in third place, number 110, and then Bose and Funston. Bose is 107, Funston is 113, and they've continued to maintain the lead through most of this race. These are other riders that are lagging behind. We're waiting on our pace car to make that turn there. And once again, we're inside the final 15 minutes of this race. This is the Rockabilly Grand Prix coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee for the first time on television in Jackson. This is live television coverage of this event. And here come our leaders. Bose is still in front. Funston's still second. And so that means Hausler is taking third right now. Would they be talking to each other during this?
Oh, they are, yes.
Okay. So what is the communication in these type of situations?
Communication, a lot of times it's going to be, hey, you take this one, I'll take the next one, and a lot of times it's nice, sometimes it's not. It's
Funston out in front now in the turn onto Lafayette. And here from Lafayette on the farmers market. And Funston continues to hold the lead.
Yeah, I guess one of the key things would be is that you don't want to make it easy for somebody to beat you. You don't want to help them.
That is the area in front of the Jackson Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Up that hill. And we've talked about it earlier, and Alan has talked about that many of these are on flat tracks, and this has hills. We have a hill right here at the start-finish. When they start out, they're coming up a hill. And then you're going down the hill after you come back onto Lafayette, but then you're immediately back up in front of the Jackson Walk Apartments, and then Shannon Street comes downhill and goes up. So it's varied as far as the lap and the grade, and so it makes it a different kind of race for these racers, and one that they seem to like, the S curve. And we're back into a situation now where Bose is back up front.
Yeah,
107.
Bose, Funston, Hausler.
And then the other two riders have been lapped, but they've been keeping this pace now for the last several minutes.
Stay one.
These are your three leaders.
271, Jackson McNear, and the other I believe was 270.
Now Funston makes that move. Yeah, they may have talked about that, but Funston is now out in front. So here's the turn coming off of Lafayette into the farmers market. We'll see if he maintains that position. He does. So he'll make that S curve out in front, and they're about to lap another rider. The Rockabilly Gran Prix, the fifth one in Jackson, Tennessee. Steve Bowers and Alan Worley with you live on E+ TV6. We're coming in now toward the end of this, 10 more minutes to race. So what happens now, Alan? If you've got these three guys, they've been pretty steady here. You try to break out and pull away from them?
Not yet. They know they've got it over anybody else. They're way away from the rest of the field, so these guys they're gonna stay together a little bit longer. But at some point, maybe another couple of laps, and then you're going to start to see somebody
at least is going to try.
Yeah, is going to say, "All right, I'm gonna take a shot at it here."
We got congestion here, and once again, the riders that we're looking at in this next line, not the two that are on the left, but in that next line of five, the first three are the lead lap, and they are the leaders in this race. Everybody else is being lapped or close to it. But these are not the riders.
These are not the riders. Yeah. The risk you're going to take, though, if
side.
One of them were to try to attack right now and take off. The risk is if you use what gas you've got left in the tank, so to speak, and they catch you, you've blown all this work that you've spent all day out front.
This is a 1 hour race. We're down to the last 10 minutes, inside 10 minutes in this race. And this is the turn off of Lafayette into the farmers market. He's back out in front. Funston is back out in front, number 113, followed by Bose, number 107, and then Hausler is 110. And they have been your leaders through most all of this race. Arvin Jansen was out earlier, whatever, but faded pretty quickly, and so there have been some others. But these guys have been battling this thing out. They've stayed right together for 40 minutes out of this 50 that we've run, I'd say.
Yeah, it's been those three names.
Those three. And everybody else is being lapped, so they're in that group, but they're not on the same lap with these guys. And so these are the three by far that people are talking about. Here we're coming on Shannon Street. Now it's Bose back out front. So a change of position here, looking back over his shoulder. $100 cash for this next lap.
So you can pick up some extra money as you go through this thing. $100 cash to whoever leads this lap across the finish line. They're in the first curve. And so that set a different tempo. Funston is back out front. Is he going for the $100?
I don't know, Brian. I don't see him go for a lot of the premiums. He's a smart guy, and he knows, it's $100, but the overall purse is $600. I'm going to make more than that if I win this thing overall. So I don't know. Although you just took a drink, which a lot of times right before a guy's going to give it a really good effort, they'll get him a drink or okay. So
that's a real tight configuration of 5 or 6 racers right there, but the 3 that count are the 3 up front: 113, 107, and 110. And that's Funston, Bowes, and Hausler. They've been leading this race all along. And so we're waiting now for them to make that appearance onto Shannon Street. That's a rider that is not in the race as far as top positioning right now. So we're waiting for the pace car, and those guys are in. Here comes the pace car, and we'll see who's out front among those 3, if those 3 are still leading, because the rest of this pack has been lapped.
Get the same 3, and they are winding it up. Hausler's in third. They're winding it up, which right here, you don't want to be in the front. You want to be back in second or third so that you can slingshot around. So it looks like
it's $100.
It's going to be Michael Lee Bowes. Takes the 100. He is not happy with Hausler.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not helping each other. Let's just say from what I could just hear, it was. So things are about to get good here.
Okay. Hausler is number 110.
Right.
And it has not been pulling the lead, and so we'll see. But he is out front right now.
So Hausler and Bowes, and we got to see where Funston is now.
And he's way off the pace right now because there's 271. We're looking for 113.
I'm wondering if we might have lost Funston somewhere on the course.
All right, we're gonna kick back and see. We're going to wait and see who emerges. Then we're looking. This is the pace car. This is Shannon Street. This is after turn 4. Those riders right there are not the ones the first rider is not the one we're looking for.
First one is not. The second 2, which is Hausler and Bowes.
So Hausler and Bowes, and where is Funston?
Funston, don't know whether he's had a mechanical or whether he's crashed. That's actually him emerging right there around the turn. So
wow,
he's back in third. So
that came on that last. What do you call those? The special laps
on the preem.
The preem. These guys broke away on the preem. They're talking to each other, 107 and 110.
Yeah, Bowes and
Hausler.
And Hausler's attacking Bowes going out onto Lafayette. So
now this is a key turn here, and Funston is he's off the pace. Now he's in that second group. Now, he's in third place. It's not everybody's been lapped except these 3 guys.
So Hausler's got a little bit of a gap on Michael Lee Bowes now.
So
Hausler, and a lapped rider in front of Bowes.
So Hausler has laid back on this thing now and is pulling away. He saved his energy.
It's like I said, we were picking on him, but
it's good strategy.
It's strategy, yeah, exactly.
It's good strategy, and so right now he is pulling away. We've talked about it. They just stayed right together for 40 minutes out of a 60-minute race. We're now inside. We're going to be approaching 5 minutes left to go. And this thing is beginning to spread now. Hausler, number 110, followed by Bowes, number 107, and Funston, number 113. And we're going to wait and see who emerges here as we get ready to bring them up Shannon Street. 5 minutes to race. Here comes the pace car.
And these laps are picking up speed. They're coming around that corner a little faster.
Well,
Hausler's got a pretty good gap on Bowes right now.
Bowes now. So this is Hausler, and he is in first place in this race. This is the Men's Pro 1-2 in the final 5 minutes of a 1-hour race. And there's your leader.
And he is definitely going faster than what he was going earlier.
He is moving. And then Hausler is way out in front now.
And we had a bell ringing. That may be.
That may be
I haven't heard a preem announcement, so this may be the last lap. This may be it.
They started about 5 minutes late. They may have cut the time to finish up. And so Funston is going to be a distant third, it looks like, right now.
Yeah.
So here's your leader.
Funston spent the majority of the time out front, which which is that's typical of what happens sometimes. You will fade if you've done most of the work.
So Hausler and then Bose and Funston. Boy, it's really gapped out there.
Yeah,
Hausler
this is definitely the last lap. The bell is ringing, so they're on their last lap.
The last lap. So this is it, folks. This race is going to end about 5 minutes earlier than we thought. They started a little bit late because they had the rain. They started about 2:35 or the 2:30, so they're going to end this one. Still, it was scheduled to end around 3:30. So here comes the pace car. And here comes, by far, the winner. Hausler is going to win this race.
It's nobody's new best friend, but
it worked.
That's the strategy
That's
that you use, though.
Yep.
That's the name of the game right there.
The finish line is the white stripe, right pad. There it is. And he is the winner. And there's your winner, Hausler.
There's your winner, number 110, Brendan Hausler out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Then a big gap there. I mean, he really set a blistering pace. And then Mr. Bose, number 107, is coming up now. He's going to be in second. So Bose crosses the finish line now. He is in second. Then your third place.
Third place rider should be, and it is number 113, Brian Funston.
So Funston and Bose. Funston and Bose are the two guys that Alan Worley called attention to. The one we didn't know about was Hausler. And so Hausler is from where?
Hausler is from Nashville.
Nashville. So Brendan Hausler, number 110, is our winner in the Pro 1-2.
And I've got Brian Funston right out in front of us. I'm going to step away and see if I can get him over here.
Get him over here and see if he will talk to us and get him. Mr. Funston is out of West Tennessee, and number 113, and then Bose, number 107. And so those guys set the pace. But Brendan Hausler, number 110, laid back in a lot of that, stayed in third a good portion of that, but then came up to win the Pro 1-2 of the Rockabilly Gran Prix here in Jackson, Tennessee, the 5th annual Rockabilly Gran Prix here in Jackson.
Brian Funston's over across in front of us. I'm going to give him a minute to catch his breath, and he's going to come over and talk to us a little bit about what was going on in that race.
Okay, we'll see.
We were speculating. We just want to see
what his reaction is to this, to see if it's the same. Alan Worley, of course, of Bicycle City, has been doing the commentary for us today and follows this sport. This is our first time to do this. I've done a lot of different things. I've never done a bicycle race.
Actually, I've never done a bike race. We've done a lot. I know we did football together for years, and a lot of PA, but
a lot of PA work.
This is fun. Something different.
Something different. The first time we've tried. I've told people, I said, I went through a period of my life, they paid you to talk, I tried to be there, and I announced drag races for many years out of the Jackson Dragway. It's going very, very well, I understand now. And congratulations to Steve Wood and all those guys out there. It's a long-standing, probably the longest-running drag strip in Tennessee. Is the Jackson Dragway. It started back in the 1960s. And
it's been there as long as I can remember.
Yeah, continued operation. And one year, Alan, I did, they asked me to come and announce a quarter horse show, and I did it for one summer. I didn't know a trot from a canter when I got out there. And so, with some good people helping you make your way through it.
I've done a lot of sports, but my favorite is baseball, and I have not done baseball.
I did get to do a couple of innings when Chris was here with the Southern League All-Star game.
Right.
He had some PA duties out at the ballpark at that time, and so Chris left me up in the press box, and I did a couple of innings of pro baseball. Southern League All-Star game a few years ago, but that was not as easy as I thought it'd be because baseball's got a pace, deliberative pace.
Right.
You have to kind of get into it and the tempo of it. And it took me a little while to do this and that and kind of get the hang of that because I thought this would be easy, and none of it's easy. You try to make it look easy, and but it's been a real pleasure working with you today. So we're going to be talking. We're talking to. So Brendan Hausler is from Nashville. Mr. Bose, what's his first name? His name?
Michael Lee. It's spelled Michael, as Michael would be with E-E, so it's Michael Lee. Bose, B-O-W-E-S. Michael Lee is from Dixon, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then Hausler, our winner, is from Nashville. And then third place out of Germantown, Tennessee, is Brian Funston.
And so, Brian, our congratulations to him. And once again, in our pregame. And Brian's coming right over here to talk to us.
Working his way over.
After this race. And so, good to have him.
We go to the middle here.
Yeah. So, we're going to get to talk to the man that led this race, a good portion of this race, and came in third place, Brian Funston out of Germantown, Tennessee. And so, really good to have him with us. Brian, congratulations. Step around here if you will. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hold that microphone close.
Just give you your own mic to use there, and
Slide out of my sweaty hands here.
yeah.
Okay, well,
I
congratulations.
don't know why you've been sweaty. Be sweaty. It's 97 degrees. You just did an hour.
Oh, so
So, Hausler, no pulling. So, trying to get him to work, or
Yeah, well, we kind of went into this knowing his teammate was first overall in the Omnium, and he was second overall, so there's really no reason for him to work.
right.
So strategically for them, the advantage was, in their behalf, and we
Exactly.
essentially had to stay on the gas. So if I had separated from the guy that could have leapfrogged me in the overall,
Right.
and so that's why I continued.
Yeah,
to
we
work
saw
as
you and
hard as I
Micah Lee
did.
talking a little bit, and it was kind of like, okay, what are these guys talking about? He's not going to pull, but that's the name of the game, is to not do any work.
Exactly.
So it was like, okay, are you two getting real hot at this guy? Or, I mean, of course, you understand what the guy's doing.
Yeah.
So we were kind of wondering.
It's one of those things where you get mad about it, but if you were in the exact same
You'd
situation,
be doing the same exact
you'd be doing
thing.
the same exact
You'd be doing
thing.
the same
yeah.
exact thing.
Yeah, it can get heated out there, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everyone's super friendly.
Well,
off the
I
bike.
told Steve, even during our Tuesday night World Championships, I mean group rides,
Yeah.
same thing does happen. So
Oh, for sure,
So
yeah.
that's normal. Performance coach.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do a little bit. Endurance sports in general have really been on the rise.
Right.
Triathlon, super fast growing sport. Essentially, our business is health and fitness. So we do a lot with higher level athletes, but
Right.
we also do stuff for beginners, couch to 5K style stuff, and then we do a lot of stuff with just people that are wanting to lose weight, stay healthy, and so we do a little bit of one-on-one personal coaching where we
so
go
you're
to
not just
people's
working with the
house.
guys that are racing on the
No,
weekends. You're working
no.
on people that go, hey, I need to do something about this belt having to be expanded or anything like
Exactly.
that. So-
Bulk majority of our folks are your weekend warrior, the people that have 10 hours to race. They have a job. They work more than 9 to 5. They
Right.
travel. The really time crunch people
Yeah.
that need help managing their chaotic schedule. That's where we step
So
in
that's
and
where you're
say,
stepping
here's
in.
how you maximize your time.
Right.
You only have 45 minutes. Here's what you should do.
Here's how you get the most you can out of that 45.
Exactly.
The other thing is, you've done this race every year. Your thoughts on it?
Oh, I love this race. This race is awesome. The people are awesome. A lot of times you get into a location where, that's this busy with apartments
Right.
and people trying to get to the gym. Everyone's been so friendly, and it seems like the community here has been great and supported this. And heck, having TV here is something you just don't see at
Yeah.
many other races. So
Yeah.
it's a well-run event in a great spot, and hopefully it brings in quite a few people to see.
It does,
see
and
Jackson.
that's kind of the thing we've talked about. It's a great showcase for the city and what's gone on down here with this particular area.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
And then we notice, nobody. I don't know too many people that's done the race that hasn't come back again.
Oh,
So-
exactly. No. And
So-
I was talking to people before the race. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'd love to get feedback, early next week, just so we can see how to help improve this race.
Right.
And everyone's like, this is one of the best races around. And we got folks in this last race who they race all across the United States. So
Yeah,
this is
we're
a
looking down the
class act.
roster here, looking at some of the states and going, that says a lot when people want to come into Jackson for
Oh,
an
exactly.
event like this.
Exactly. No, there's top-notch talent, and it's a top-notch event as well.
Even if it is Matt. No, Matt does a great job.
He does.
Matt's
He does.
looking for some sleep Monday, I'm
Oh,
sure.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into something like this.
Good deal. All right, Brian, thanks for talking
We
to us.
appreciate you guys.
Thanks for the show.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch.
All right, see ya.
Thanks a lot. And it was fun seeing from Germantown, Tennessee, in the fitness, coming in third today and leading. I guess led most of this race.
Pretty much led most of the race.
So 1 hour race. It was cut a few minutes today. It got started a little bit later than scheduled. And
Right.
So they wrapped up at 3:30, right at a 1 hour race. And he and Bose 113 and 107 led that most of the way, but then Hausler, of course, laid back and then came on strong and took it pretty handily. So when he was saying that he like a teammate or whatever, what's the
Hausler had a teammate that was pretty much in contention for the overall in
right.
the Omnium, meaning the cumulative result
All right.
of the three events being yesterday's road race, the time trial last night, and today. So he really didn't have a whole lot of incentive to try to really help pull away.
Okay.
So they knew what he was doing,
Good.
but
All right. You still want him to help, but
yeah, you still want him to, and like Brian said,
you can't force it.
you put
And if
yourself in the same situation,
position,
you're going to do the
you're
same
straight to do
thing.
the same thing. All right, so we're good. Well, Alan, it's been a real pleasure. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
appreciate the
Appreciate doing
opportunity
it.
opportunity to get this taken care of today. Appreciate everybody being with us, and the weather cooperated splendidly with us. Enough rain to kind of cool things down and everything else. This has been the Rockabilly Grand Prix, the 5th annual in Jackson, Tennessee. Our thanks to everybody who was involved in this, Paul Schultz and his entire broadcast team, E-Plus TV6, and the Jackson Energy Authority for making this possible to carry on television, stream on the internet. And Alan, a real pleasure to work with you. Alan Ward, Bicycle City. And thanks to Matt and everybody that put together this Rockabilly Grand Prix, the 5th annual in Jackson, Tennessee, live on E-Plus TV6. Have a good evening.